Hello and welcome to Chinese Novel Audiobook. Explore our playlist for more captivating novels, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new audiobook. Now, let's dive into today's story. Chapter 81. Control 5 rows, obliterate 5 rows. Hunting for free. This almost broke all the students. They desperately hunted the beasts, but they had to hand it over to the training camp for free. They just can't hide their personal information, because it is related to their performance. The results are not good, the ranking is not high. The ranking is not high, and the treatment is not good. The treatment is not good, and the promotion can't be fast. Vicious circle. What's even more depressing is that the life enhancement liquid and genetic power enhancement liquid rewarded to outstanding students were bought with the money they hunted the beasts. Sad reminder. If you can be in the top 30 and enjoy life enhancement liquid and genetic power enhancement liquid, it is good to say, if you can't enjoy it, you will be dead. What is this? More cruelty is yet to come. In order to prevent some students from messing around, we stipulate that those who rank in the last 3 on the ranking for 3 consecutive weeks will be kicked out of the super training camp. The battalion commander said coldly, "So, don't think about messing around, it's impossible." Everyone is shocked. Will they be eliminated after entering the super training camp? They really didn't know this before. Of course, if you can get to the top of the rankings continuously, the rewards will be even more generous. As for what it is, I won't say much here. You can check the training camp manual by yourself. Okay, I have said everything that should be said. Finally, let me emphasize that the rankings are updated once a week. The battalion commander looked around at everyone. Today happens to be Thursday. According to the rules, you have to go to the wilderness area to hunt the beasts. Let's start hunting fierce beasts today. We just came here. Is there any mistake? The team members complained in their hearts. They just arrived at the super training camp and have not received much training yet, so they are going to hunt the beasts. Is too hard. Because it is the first hunting, the training camp has a rigid rule. You must form a team, because the fierce beasts on the Australian mainland are beyond your imagination. There are all kinds of tools in the training camp, such as space bags, transportation tools, cold weapons, beast radars, etc. You can rent them at will. Yes, rent. Some damage, compensation for the original price. Finally, a solemn reminder, the fierce beasts in Australia are different from the fierce beasts in other regions. They are not only fierce but also terrifying in strength. So, try not to easily go into too dangerous areas, otherwise, you will die in vain. Alright, disband. The battalion commander left after speaking. Jing Biao and other teachers also followed the battalion commander, leaving only 200 students including Ling Ju looking at each other. This is the beginning. Shi Gang sighed, then looked at Ling Ju. His face was full of expectation. Ling Ju, do you team up with me? Team. Ling Ju frowned slightly. To be fair, he didn't want to form a team. He knew his ability to hunt down beasts, and forming a team would only lower his score. But the training camp is rigid, so it's so hard to handle. At this time, Ai Yuhei and Yang Ling'er looked over. Ling Ju understood what they meant, and asked, "You also want to team up with us?" Okay. The 2 women nodded slightly. They just came to the training camp and they were not familiar with the place where they were born. The best choice is naturally acquaintances. Ling Ju nodded slightly. Since we must form a team, let's just 4 of us. Teaming up with others may be a drag, but Ai Yuhei is obviously the exception. Her ability is really abnormal. As for Yang Ling'er, Ling Ju doesn't know her powers for the time being, but he can directly get the spot just like Ai Yuhei, and her powers are not bad at all. Let's go and rent some tools. It is good. The 4 people came to the weapon store, rented 10 top-level space bags, and then left the fortress. All 4 of them had magnetic levitation vehicles, and they could ride anyone. The airship turned on the stealth mode and slowly flew through the sky. Ling Ju and the 4 were sitting in the living room, browsing the beast radar. The fierce beast radar shows that there are a considerable number of fierce beasts in the northwest. Shi Gang slowly said, "To be on the safe side, let's start with the tier 4 fierce beast, right? The 4th order is too weak, it's boring." Ling Ju gave a few electric shocks on the fierce beast radar and screened all fierce beasts below tier 5, leaving only fierce beasts above tier 5. From the 5th level, Shi Gang's face changed slightly. We are all 4th level abilities, and we are the 5th level fierce beast. Will it be 2 waves? No. Ling Ju smiled. Before hunting the beasts, I think it is necessary to understand the abilities and specific strengths of teammates, so that we can cooperate perfectly. The three nodded together, agreeing with Ling Ju's meaning. I have the ability to control soil and gravity. Ling Ju first introduced. I can kill tier 5 fierce beasts independently. Ai Yuhei and Yang Linger curled their lips at the same time, and said in a bad mood, who is fooling, who doesn't know that you have 3 abilities? Haha, another power type ability has the opportunity to tell you again. Now, it will be kept secret for now. Ling Ju hit haha. Cut. Ai Yuhei rolled his eyes and expressed contempt for Ling Ju's concealment of his abilities, and then introduced. I have space abilities, can control space, and use space imprisonment to suppress tier 5 fierce beasts, and tier 6 fierce beasts can also be imprisoned for 10 seconds. Space power. Shi Gang was taken aback. You actually have the legendary space ability. It's too powerful. The space ability is one of the most powerful abilities. All right. Ai Yuhei smiled. Linger's ability is a metamorphosis. She can control the 5 elements and annihilate the 5 elements. Control the 5 elements. Annihilate the 5 elements. Shi Gang was stunned. Ling Ju was also stunned. Ai Yuhei explained. Linger can simultaneously control the 5 elements, such as gold, wood, water, fire, earth, etc. That is to say, she can control all of the 5 elements. The annihilation of the 5 elements also means the same thing. www.mtlnovel.com. Anything made up of the 5 elements of gold, wood, water, fire, earth, and she can be completely annihilated with a single thought. Damn. Shizuna burst into foul language. Ling Ju took a breath. Although he guessed that Yang Linger's abilities would be abnormal, he never expected that it would be abnormal to such an extent. Control the 5 elements. This one alone is equivalent to having 5 kinds of control abilities: controlling money, controlling wood, controlling water, controlling fire, and controlling soil. At the same time, it can control gold, wood, water, fire, and soil. Almost all substances in the world can be controlled. After all, many substances are made of gold, wood, water, fire, and soil. Not to mention there is an annihilation of the 5 elements. This one is even more terrifying. Hey, I didn't expect that there is such a power in the world. Shi Gang's excited eyes beamed. It is my honor to have such a teammate. We will definitely be able to kill. Yang Linger smiled shyly. Shi Gang, what is your power? Ling Ju looked at Shi Gang. My power is eyes. Shizuna took off his black sunglasses and showed his eyes. Ling Ju was shocked. Ai Yuhei and Yang Linger covered their mouths in shock. Scarlet. Shizuna's eyes turned out to be blood-colored, like 2 blood-colored rubies, and at the center of the eyeballs, there were 2 black flame-shaped pupils. If you use one sentence to describe his eyes, it is the black flame pupil that replaces Guyu's pupil. My eyes are a bit special. Shi Gang explained. When my pupils focus, a black flame will ignite. This black flame is extremely destructive and almost nothing is inflammable. Quote. Ling Ju was shocked. Chapter 82. Flying Magic Wolf, quietly. There are many abilities about eyes in this world. Laser eyes, clairvoyance, perspective eyes. There are all kinds of things, only you can't think of, there is nothing you can't see. But Ling Ju was still shocked by Shi Gang's eyes, and black flames would be released where the pupils focused. Isn't this really the sky? Attention everyone, there is a tier 5 fierce beast ahead. Just as Ling Ju was secretly shocked, Shi Gang staring at the fierce beast radar suddenly shouted. Ling Ju looked at it and saw that a beast that was more than 10 meters long and covered with spikes, resembling a pig but not a pig, resembling a rat and flying squirrel, was eating on the ground. Tier 5 fierce beast, steel needle porcupine. And its food is a silver kangaroo over 5 meters in length. This kangaroo is still alive, and screams bitterly under the chewing of the pin porcupine. Seeing this scene, the 4 people are not surprised. The natural world is cruel and unusual. There are so many examples of eating prey alive. It is not surprising. The only thing they can do is to kill the pin porcupine and give the kangaroo a good time. Who will come? The 4 of them looked at each other. According to what we said beforehand, the 5th order fierce beasts will take turns, and the 6th order fierce beasts will shoot together, so leave it to me. Ling Ju got out of the airship. Roar. The steel pin porcupine suddenly turned around, staring at Ling Ju with a pair of indifferent eyes. The spikes stood upside down one after another, and his mouth let out a low growl. Vientian Sky Lead. Ling Ju grabbed the void. Since gravity can be used as repulsive force to bounce objects, it can naturally also be used as gravity to attract objects. The only difference is to change the direction of gravity. Change the direction of gravity, which is very simple for Ling Ju. Boom. The steel needle porcupine flew up uncontrollably, which made it panic. The steel needles all over the body turned into a rain of arrows and shot at Ling Ju. Rock giant. In an instant, Ling Ju's whole body became an osmium giant. The airtight steel needle greeted Ling Ju. Except for the muffled sound, it could not cause any substantial damage to Ling Ju. 8-run Lei Jin. Ling Ju clenched his right fist and blasted out like a thunder. With only a click, his fist pierced through the needle of the porcupine's head instantly, killing it on the spot. The steel pin porcupine fell to the ground and struggled a few times to stop moving. Ling Ju put away his body, then returned to normal and returned to the three of them. Ling Ju, you are so strong. Shi Gang's eyes beamed. It was so violent that it killed the pin porcupine of Tier 5 fierce beast with one punch. All right. Keep going. 10 minutes later, everyone encountered the second fierce beast, which was a giant snake-like beast with a body length of more than 30 meters and the size of a water tank. It was red-brown, and a pair of snake pupils stared coldly at Ling Ju and his party. The Tier 5 fierce beast Australia is too snake climbing. Ai Yuhei whispered, who is going? You give me pressure, I will try. Shi Gang eager to try. Be careful. No problem. Shi Gang took a deep breath, then took off the demon realm, his eyes stared suddenly. Boom. The next moment, a black flame suddenly appeared on the head of the Australian taipan snake. As soon as this flame appeared, it burned the head of the Australian taipan snake madly. Hiss. The Australian taipan snake was burnt to hiss and screamed, its body convulsed, twisted and rolled, its tail lashed against the wasteland. The huge boulders were shattered by the pumping, and the bushes were broken by the pumping. Australia is too painful to climb the snake. Sadly, no matter how hard it struggles, the flame has not extinguished, but has become more and more prosperous. In a short while, the head of the Australian taipan snake was burned to ashes. The black flame continued to burn towards the body of the snake. Shi Gang glared his eyes, and the black flame magically disappeared. The body of the Australian Tai climbing snake is still twisting and rolling, but everyone knows that without its head, its death is a foregone conclusion and cannot be undone. What a great flame. It's really scary. Ling Ju and the three were shocked, thinking in their hearts, if they encounter Shi Gang's flame, can they resist it? How to resist? Get it done. Shi Gang took the body of taipan snake and walked towards Ling Ju with a smile. Can't you kill the Tier 5 fierce beast? Why did you act like a Tier 5 fierce beast just now? Ling Ju smiled and joked. My flames can indeed kill Tier 5 fierce beasts, but it takes time, and during this time, enough fierce beasts have launched an attack on me. www.mtlnovel.com. I can't stand the mad Tier 5 fierce beasts. She outlined explanation. Right. The four of them continued to move forward. After half an hour, they encountered a Tier 5 fierce beast group, Australian flying demon wolves, with a population of about 50. Has a body length of 15 meters and a ginger-colored whole body. What is exaggerated is that they have a pair of yellow wings on both sides of their ribs, and their wingspan reaches an astonishing 20 meters. Australian flying demon wolf is a rare beast that can fly. Shall we shoot together this time? Ling Ju suggested with a smile. It is good. None of the three disagreed, so many magic wolves, enough points. Shoo. Ling Ju took the lead to kill out, and then used 8 times the gravity to instantly suppress 12 flying demon wolves. 8-run Lei Jin. Ling Ju rushed up. Crack. 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 Ling Ju turned into a bolt of lightning, wandering around the 12 flying demon wolves, and after 12 punches, 12 flying demon wolves were killed on the spot. Ling Ju put away 12 flying demon wolves with satisfaction, and then looked at the other demon wolves. Among them, 12 flying demon wolves were burning black flames on their heads, apparently from Shi Gang's handwriting. The remaining flying demon wolves were all imprisoned in place and unable to move. This was Ai Yuhei's use of space abilities to suppress them. Immediately after, Yongling made a move and did not see what she was doing, but the flying demon wolf fell head-on, and finally all fell to the ground, no sound. Killing more than 20 flying demon wolves silently, what did Yang Linger do? Ling Ju chilled back. Killing wolves invisible, this ability is really terrifying, it's impossible to defend against. Chapter 83. Compound-Eyed Wombat, Copy Ability. A group of people continued on the road. We are a team of 4 people, is it a bit too strong? Shi Gang's expression was relaxed. The Tier 5 fierce beasts were all easily destroyed by us. It seems that the Australian mainland is nothing more than this. Don't be careless. Yuhei reminded. The battalion commander said that Australia's fierce beasts are beyond our imagination. One carelessly will die here. We must not underestimate the enemy. The death rate of super training camps in previous years has been as high as 50%. If we do this year, it means that there will be 100 trainees in the training camp with 200 trainees and 100 will stay in Australia forever. Yang Linger continued. Half the death rate. Shi Gang's heart shuddered, cold sweat broke out on his back, the death rate was too high. It's always right to be careful. Ling Ju pointed to the fierce beast radar and said, we have a few Tier 5 fierce beasts in the northwest, there is a Tier 6 fierce beast in the southeast, which one to choose? Yuhei slowly said, the points of a Tier 6 fierce beast is equivalent to 100 Tier 5 fierce beasts. In terms of value alone, it must be more cost-effective for that Tier 6 fierce beast, for fear that we can't eat it. The 4 of us work together, and there is still a lot of hope to kill it. Ling Ju eagerly wanted to try. My gravitational suppression combined with the space confinement of the rain lotus, combined with the flame of the historical outline, and the annihilation of Linger, I think it is feasible. Then choose it. Shi Gang wiped the cold sweat on his forehead, feeling a bit crazy. Hunting down a Tier 6 beast, he has never done such a crazy thing. Hehe, we have no choice. Ling Ju suddenly said. The few Tier 5 fierce beasts were quickly boarded. Okay. The 3 of them looked at the fierce beast radar, and they saw that the orange light spots representing the 5th order fierce beasts had disappeared, indicating that they had been killed. Since just now, Tier 5 fierce beasts have been killed continuously, and the movements of others are not slow. Ling Ju sighed. Yeah, I'm all fighting. Let's go, hunt down the Tier 6 beast, lest it be robbed again. It is good. The 4 boarded the airship and swept towards the place where the Tier 6 fierce beast was. After a few minutes, they came to a cliff. There is a cave at the bottom of the cliff. Inside the cave, there is a deep grunt, like thunder. Obviously, there is a beast sleeping in it. What a terrifying evil spirit. The air here is so heavy, I feel it's hard to breathe. The coercion emitted by this beast is too exaggerated. Can we kill it? The 4 men are fierce, but when they come to the entrance of the cave, they feel a little tugged. Although the fierce beasts in the cave are sleeping soundly, the fierce power that inadvertently spills makes them feel as if their chests are pressed against a boulder, and their hearts are lost. Don't be afraid. With the strength of the 4 of us, we can definitely kill him. Ling Ju whispered. I attacked from the front to attract its attention. You hide in the dark and wait for an opportunity to attack. Are you too dangerous to do this? Yuhei frowned. Don't worry. I have the means to save my life, you guys hide first. Ling Ju smiled, and then walked over. The 3 of them concealed their figure quickly. Ling Ju strode to the cave when he saw it, and then pressed hard. Rumble. The body of the mountain loosened in an instant, and boulders fell from the top of the mountain, and the grunt inside the cave stopped abruptly, replaced by angry roars. Within a short while, a giant bear with a head height of 15 meters and a body length of more than 30 meters rushed out of the cave. The whole body is pitch black, and the whole body is round and round, just like a big meatball, thick and sturdy. People don't dare to doubt the power contained in it. The most amazing thing is the eyes of this bear. Its eyes are like the compound eyes of a fly, as if they are made up of tiny screens. It turns out to be a wombat with compound eyes. Trouble. Shi Gang's expression changed drastically. This is a wombat with compound eyes. Yuhei exclaimed. A fierce beast with replication ability in the legend. That's right. Shi Gang's expression was solemn. The compound eye wombat has a pair of compound eyes. These compound eyes give the compound eye wombat the ability to replicate abilities, so the compound eye wombat is much stronger than the average Tier 6 fierce beast. Copy ability. Yang Linger whispered. Should we withdraw first? Kill. However, as soon as her voice fell, Ling Ju over there was already fighting with the compound-eyed wombat. Ling Ju, who was transformed into an osmium earth giant, was 30 meters tall and 10 stories high. In front of him, the compound-eyed wombat was like a little brother. Boom. Ling 9 pairs of fists bombed, and at the same time released gravity. The movement of the compound-eye wombat was affected by gravity and slowed down. Boom boom boom. Ling Ju's double fists hit the compound-eye wombat one after another. www.mtlnovel.com, but useless. The fat on the body of the compound-eyed wombat shook violently, swaying waves of meat, perfectly resisting the bombardment of Ling Ju's double fists without injury. But the compound-eyed wombat was enraged by Ling Ju's attack. It stretched out two bare paws, grabbed it hard, and grabbed the fists of the osmium earth giant in its hands. Then, he opened his blood basin and bit at the head of the osmium giant. Do it. The three of them made a decisive move. Space imprisoned. Burn me. Boom. Yuhei's space was imprisoned, and the compound-eyed wombat was instantly imprisoned in place, and then, its head suddenly ignited a black flame. Shi Gang also shot. Annihilate. Yongling gave a low voice, and the double-eyed wombat bit into the blood basin of the osmium giant, and suddenly disappeared strangely. Correct. Just disappeared. Without his mouth, the double-eyed wombat suddenly let out a scream. The mouth is directly annihilated. Yonglinger's ability is really terrifying. Ling Ju secretly marveled. The movement of his hands is not slow. He took advantage of the moment when the compound-eyed wombat was imprisoned, recondensed two big hands, and hit the compound-eyed wombat's head with a punch. 8-run Lei Jin. Boom. Because of the burning of the black flame, the scalp of the wombat has been burned to ashes, and the thick fat layer has also been burned away, exposing Bai Sensen's skull, which looks very permeating. Therefore, when Ling Ju hit with one punch, he instantly smashed the compound-eye wombat's skull, and then slammed into the compound-eye wombat's head. Puff. Blood spattered, brain plasma burst. Chapter 84. Two Awakenings, knocking at the door in the middle of the night. Call. I'm exhausted. Shi Gang slumped on the ground, wiping the cold sweat from his forehead. Yuhei and Yongling were also relieved. Although the scene just now was short, it was thrilling enough, thanks to the tacit understanding of the four of them, otherwise the consequences would be unpredictable. We made it. Ling Ju came over. Congratulations, we worked together to kill the Tier 6 fierce beast. This is the famous compound-eyed wombat. It is indeed worthy of congratulations. Shi Gang laughed and said, fortunately, Yuhei's space confinement came in time, and it didn't let it use the ability that it copied, otherwise it would be a big trouble. Compound-eyed wombat. Copy ability. Ling Ju was taken aback. Ling Ju, don't you know this stuff? Shi Gang pointed to the corpse of the compound-eyed wombat and smiled. This is the famous compound-eyed wombat, a Tier 6 beast that can replicate the abilities of other beasts. Compound-eyed wombats are stronger than ordinary Tier 6 fierce beasts. If it weren't for the space confinement of Yuhei, we would be in danger. This is everyone's credit. Yuhei gathered the hair around her ears. The most precious thing about the compound-eye wombat is this pair of compound eyes. If the compound eyes are cut out and sold, it should be sold for a good price. Yes, this thing is the main material for making the second awakening potion. If it is used by those with copy ability, it can completely make their copy ability perform a second awakening. Shi Gang nodded in agreement. Second awakening. Ling Ju was taken aback. Don't you know the second awakening? Yuhei looked at Ling Ju in surprise. I haven't heard of it. Ling Ju shook his head. I don't even know this. Yuhei wanted to make a joke, but thought that Ling Ju had an ordinary background and didn't know that this was normal, so he said. In fact, our ability can perform deep awakening, which is the so-called second awakening, or even the third awakening. Deep awakening. Ling Ju was shocked. When we first awakened the ability when we tested the ability, it was called the first awakening, and then the ability was awakened again, called the second awakening. Yuhei explained. The second awakening is far more difficult than the first awakening, but after the second awakening, the abilities are often stronger, just like my spatial abilities. After the first awakening, I can only simply control the space. After that, I hunted the Dunkong peregrine falcon and collected Dunkong peregrine falcon's Dunkong swim bladder, in order to find someone to make the second awakening potion for the space ability. I made it. After the second awakening, my space abilities have become more powerful. So, you helped me hunt down Dunkong peregrine falcon last time, really helped me a lot. Haha, it's fine. Ling Ju's eyes flashed. How to make the second awakening potion. Different types of abilities. The second awakening potions are different, such as my space abilities. The main material is Dunkong Peregrine Falcon's Dunkong Swim Bladder. Yuhei explained. You are a soil control, gravity and power type ability. You need to find the relevant organs of soil control, gravity and power type beasts. As long as you can find these things and give them to the company will do it for you. Of course. You can also go to the black market. The black market has everything, but it will cost a lot of money, and the medicine may not be so reliable. That's it. Ling Ju's eyes flashed, and he couldn't help but glance at the wombat with compound eyes. Just now, Shi Gang said that the compound eye of this product is the main material for making the second awakening potion for copying the ability. And many more. Copy ability. Shi Gang, did you just say the ability to copy? Ling Ju asked pretendingly, is there really a copy ability in this world? Previously, the copy ability only existed in hypotheses and conjectures, but this year it appeared. Shi Gang nodded and said, it is said that there have been several guys who have awakened the ability to copy suddenly appearing all over the world this year. You say it is strange. I heard about the news too. Yuhei nodded slightly. It's just that those people's copying abilities are not perfect, and the limitations are huge. Either the ability can only be copied for a short period of time, and it will disappear after a while, or only one or two abilities can be copied, and then they cannot be copied. All in all, these copying abilities are unsatisfactory, and it is very different from the perfect copying abilities that people have imagined that can be called the power of God. Indeed. But that's the case. Those who copy abilities are also very popular. I heard that many abilities organizations have made great efforts for this. Shi Gang nodded and suddenly joked. Ling Ju, there are quite a lot of these news forums and power groups, don't you usually visit forums and water groups? He usually cares about cultivating, how can he have time to watch this? Yuhei pursed his lips and teased. Yuhei understands me. Ling Ju scratched his head, showing an awkward but polite smile, and then there was a storm in his heart. In addition to themselves, there are people who have awakened the ability to copy, and it also appeared this year. This is amazing. The key is that these abilities who have awakened the ability to copy have been reused. Does it mean that their copy ability can also be exposed? Ling Ju felt that it was necessary to inquire about people's attitudes towards copying abilities. If the copying abilities could really be exposed, then he didn't need to deliberately hide it. Of course, this is not the point, the key is the second awakening. If my copy ability can really perform a second awakening, will it become stronger as Yuhei said? Where is it strong? Let's go, continue hunting the beasts. Just as Ling Ju was thinking about it, Shi Gang patted his shoulder on the shoulder. Ling Ju woke up, nodded and said, go on. All the students started their actions. For a time, with the fortress as the center, Tier 4, Tier 5, and even Tier 6 beasts quickly decreased. In just one day, all Tier 4 and 5 fierce beasts in a radius of 50 kilometers were slaughtered, which made it more difficult to hunt fierce beasts, and it was necessary to go deeper into the wilderness to find the beasts. On Friday morning, Ling Jusi continued to act. In order to deal with the declining situation of Tier 5 fierce beasts, they set the target at Tier 6 fierce beast. Ling Ju acted as a tank. Archie is a mage. Yuhei acts as an assistant. Yang Linger acts as an assassin. The four people cooperated with each other in a tacit understanding, and the lethality was amazing. In one day on Friday, they hunted 80 Tier 6 beasts. The huge gains made the four people very satisfied. A Tier 6 fierce beast is equivalent to 10,000 points. We have hunted 160 Tier 6 fierce beasts in the past 2 days, which is almost equivalent to 1.6 million points, an average of 400,000 points per person. In the maglev airship, the four people were eating and chatting while chatting. Shi Gang triumphantly said, it shouldn't be a problem to rank in the top 30. Who knows? Ling Ju said, tomorrow, go deeper and hunt down as many Tier 6 beasts as possible. www.mtlnovel.com, the more the better. Then come on. Yuhei and Yonglinger both smiled, and they were also very satisfied with the harvest. Boom, boom. At this moment, there was a violent knock on the door. Open the door and open the door. The community sends warmth. Open the door quickly. Somebody is coming. The airship has clearly turned on the stealth mode, how can it be discovered by others? The stealth mode can only fool the fierce beast, but not the instruments in the hands of other students. Yuhei, open the door and see what they want to do. Okay. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel Chapter 85, Robber Strikes, Flying Hippo. Yuhei opened the hatch, and several black people rushed in. These are 4 black teenagers with dirty braids and tattoos, like a gangster. After they came in, they glanced over Ling Ju and others, and said directly, "Leave the space bag, you can roll." Hearing this, Ling Ju couldn't help but smile. When the 4 guys just knocked on the door, he expected nothing good, and it was not. 4 robbers came. Not only want to rob their space bags, but also occupy their airships. Is so greedy. And looking at their squinting eyes, if it weren't for the regulations of the super training camp, they would probably not let Yuhei and Yongling go. 4 greedy perverts. Why, can I be deaf? Seeing that the 4 of Ling Ju were indifferent, a sturdy black man widened his eyes and his fists rattled. Say it again, hand over the space bag, otherwise, don't blame Lao Su for being polite. You're welcome. How to be your kind. Ling Ju seemed to smile. Boy, you are looking for death. The strong black stared, like an angry bull. Finally, I will give you a chance, immediately hand over the space bag, and get out of here. Ling Ju was speechless, and there was nothing to say to such a person, Shen Luo Tianzheng. Boom. Caught off guard, the sturdy black man was like a cannonball out of the chamber. He was shot directly out of the air, smashed out of the airship all the way, and flew far and wide. Ambrose. When the remaining 3 blacks saw this, their expressions changed slightly. At this time, a more surging repulsive force pressed on them, and they were also bounced out. Sit down for a while, and I will play with these 4 warm guys. Ling Ju stepped out of the airship, and it was pitch black outside, only the sky full of stars was shining and dazzling. Fuck. Damn it. The 4 of them stood up and glared at Ling Ju, with anger in their eyes. Boy, you have completely angered us. Really? So what? Ling Ju flicked his finger. What an arrogant guy. I want to blow your mouth. Don't you guys, I will deal with him. The strong black man roared. His body was like an inflated ball, swelling up at a speed visible to the naked eye. His head became flat, 2 fangs appeared in his mouth, and 2 chuckles came from his back, and 2 black wings like eagles grew out. In an instant, the strong black man turned into a tall, sturdy monster with fangs and black wings. If you have to describe it, it is a combination of hippopotamus, eagle, and human. The body of a hippo, the wings of an eagle, and the head of a human. 3 different images properly. This is a body alienation type of ability, flying hippo. Shi Gang reminded loudly when seeing this. Ling Ju, be careful, this guy can't be underestimated. Rest assured. Ling Juman smiled casually. Fatian hippo is a very powerful tier 6 beast. It not only possesses terrifying power and defense, but also can fly up to midair and launch attacks from the air, integrating power, defense, and flight. The most ferocious thing is that flying hippos are a huge ethnic group. They are widely found in the African savanna and are known as the most terrifying group of beasts. Tier 6 fierce beasts are terrible in themselves, let alone the Tier 6 fierce beasts that form a group. They are far more terrifying than the average Tier 6 fierce beast. Boy, get me down. The strong black man who turned into a monster vibrated his wings behind his back and jumped into the air, screaming and slamming his fist towards Ling Ju. To deal with you, I don't need my full effort. Ling Ju shook his head slightly, and raised his right hand the moment the strong man hit him. Shen Luo Tianzheng. Boom. A terrifying repulsion once again acted on the black brawny, and with a muffled bang, the black brawny was bounced out again. Do you think this is the end? Ling Judao. Vientian Tianian. Boom. The black brawny who hadn't flew out for a long time was sucked back again. Ling Ju grabbed a 2-meter-high rock and smashed it at the brawny black man. Boom. The black strong man suddenly came into close contact with the rock, and only heard a click, the rock was smashed to pieces. The strong black man screamed, and there was a crisp clicking sound from his body. As you can imagine, his bone was broken. Unbearable. Ling Ju casually tossed, the black brawny flew out again, then fell heavily to the ground, crying in pain. Ambrose. When the remaining 3 people saw this, their expressions could not help but change. How are you? The rib is broken. The strong black man howled in pain. Boy, you are too cruel. A short black man glared at Ling Ju. Everyone is a training camp student. www.mtlnovel.com. See you with your head down without looking up. Is it necessary to put such a cruel hand? A member of the training camp. Ling Ju chuckled, and said sarcastically, now tell me about the training camp members. Why didn't you say that when you were sending warmth on behalf of the community? The short black man's face was choked. Besides, I have been merciful, and I can only blame him for being too dishonest. Ling Ju shook his head. Speaking of which, I'm quite puzzled. How could someone like him be selected into the super training camp? I'm afraid it's not the back door, right? You. The three were furious. What are you? Give you a chance to hand over the space bag, and then immediately disappear from our eyes, otherwise, he will be your end. Ling Ju pointed at the strong black man lying on the ground and moaning in pain. Let's hand over the space bag, stop daydreaming. Fight with him. Go to die. A fierce battle unfolded in an instant, and then ended at an extremely fast speed. Ling Ju still stood on the ground like a okay person, while the three yelling blacks flew upside down, groaning in pain, and then together with the strong blacks, they played a wonderful human movement in the vast wilderness. With this strength, I will learn from others to rob. I really don't know who gave you the courage. Ling Ju reached out and untied their space bags from the four of them, and then entered the magnetic levitation airship. As for these four guys, he didn't bother to pay attention. Can you spend tonight? Will it be eaten by fierce beasts? Whatever happened to him? As long as you don't fight inside the fortress, the super training camp will not care. After all, the super training camp never prohibits cannibalism. Chapter 86. The list is out, Angel Power. These four guys are too weak, even I Shangcheng and Chu Ding are incomparable. I wonder how they got in. Although the super training camp selects global elites, the quota is allocated for the sake of rain and dew. The unevenness of the students is inevitable. Indeed, the competition in developed areas is fierce, and the selected students are naturally strong. The poor areas have few supernatural powers, and the students are naturally almost at a level. Yes. The four of them chatted while eating, and they went back to their rooms to practice. Early the next morning, the hunt continued. There was no danger along the way. One day passed quickly. At 6 p.m., the six returned to the training camp on time, and then turned in the hunted beast. The next thing to do is to wait. The ranking is high, just look at tomorrow. On Sunday afternoon, Ling Ju was still cultivating, but Shi Gang woke him up. Ling Ju, he is about to be out of the list, let's go down and take a look. What time is it? Ling Ju asked. 5:50, it will be 6 o'clock soon. Shi Gang looked embarrassed. According to the rules, the leaderboard is updated at 6 p.m. every Sunday. Everyone is down, let's go down. Fine. The two came to the central square and found that almost all the students had come. Ai Yuhei also walked over with Yang Linger's wheelchair. Ling Ju greeted the two of them, and his eyes fell on the giant screen. Before 6 o'clock, the screen was empty. Ling Ju, where do you think we can rank? Shi Gang was very nervous. Who knows? Ling Ju shrugged. However, it shouldn't be too low, right? Out. The list is out. I don't know who yelled, and it immediately attracted everyone's mind. Ling Julian looked up, and the name appeared on the screen. My ranking should not be too low. Thinking like this in his heart, Ling Ju looked down directly from the top of the list. Number 1. Zhou Ji, 1.5 million. The first place is not me. Ling Ju sank. Number 2. Christopher Adam, 1.39 million. The second place is not me either. Number 3. Hirano Hagi, 1.33 million. The third place is not me either. Ling Ju clenched his fists tightly. At this time, Shi Gang's cheers came from his ear. Ling Ju, you are ninth, you are ninth. No. 9. Ling Julian passed the name behind and looked directly at the ninth place, and he saw his name in the ninth place. Number 9. Ling Ju, 615,000. Only ninth place. Ling Ju's mood suddenly mixed. This ranking is definitely not low, but it did not meet his expectations at all. According to his idea, Advanced Life Enhancement Liquid, Advanced Genetic Power Enhancement Liquid, and the training room on the first floor of the 12 underground rooms, he wants it all. Because he can only make progress by leaps and bounds if he enjoys the best treatment. Ninth place. What a fur. Intermediate Life Enhancement Liquid. Intermediate genetic power enhancer. The third floor of the 12th underground room. Ling Ju was a little lost, and for the first time he felt like he was hit. He thought he had the ability to copy, and he possessed 5 kinds of abilities. It was definitely a bug in the super training camp. Didn't the first 3 catch them? As a result, reality gave him a slap, not to mention the top 3. He did not enter the top 5, but barely squeezed into the top 10 threshold. Moreover, the gap between my results and the top 3 is a bit big, 1.5 million, 1.39 million, and 1.33 million. I am only 615,000, and there is not half of it. This gap. Ling Ju suddenly realized that he underestimated the world, and finally remembered the words of teacher Jing Biao, Super Training Camp Hidden Dragon and Crouching Tiger. Ling Ju didn't take it seriously before, but now I have seen that outside the mountain outside Qingshanlu, Qingzhong has a strong midfielder, it seems that I have to work hard. Compared with Ling Ju's disappointment, Shi Gang was extremely excited. I am 12th. Ling Ju, I am 12th. Did you see that? I am 12th. Congratulations. Ling Ju smiled reluctantly, and then continued to look at the list below. Number 10. Ai Yuhei, 608,000. Number 11. Yang Linger, 605,000. No 12. History of 601,000. Because of the 4-person team, the results are not much different, and the rankings are close to each other. However, Ai Yuhei and Yang Linger were not very satisfied with this achievement except for Shi Gang. Although Ling Ju did not meet expectations, he was ranked 9th at any rate. In the next 3 days, he could enter the 3rd floor of the 12 underground room for training. How about them? Happened to be 10th and 11th. This is an embarrassing result, which means that they can only practice for 1 hour on the 4th floor of the 12 underground rooms. Ling Ju, you can practice for 3 days, and they only have 1 hour. The salary gap is a bit big. They are all top talents, how can they be reconciled? You don't seem to be very happy. Perceiving the loss of Ling Ju's trio, Shi Gang stopped smiling. Aren't you satisfied with this result? It's okay, it's almost better than expected, but it's not a big deal, it's the first time, just keep working hard later. At 11:50 in the middle of the night, Ling Ju came to the underground 12 chamber in accordance with the regulations. At this moment, the alloy door leading to the 12 underground chambers was closed, and all the other 8 students who were qualified to enter the 12 underground chambers to practice cultivation arrived. 5 men and 3 women. If Ling Ju is counted, there are 6 males and 3 females. What surprised Ling Ju is that besides him, there are only 2 yellow races, and the others are all other races. There are only 3 yellow people. There are 2 yellow people in front of me. One is Zhou Ji, Yu reading www.yuakanshu.com ranks first, and the other is Hirano Hagi, which ranks third, right. Ling Ju couldn't help but looked at the 2 yellow men in the crowd, one of them was 1.7 meters tall. He looked mediocre and looked very strong and solid. A person with a straight body, piercing tiger eyes, eagle-hooked nose, red and phoenix eyes, and only looking at his appearance, Ling Ju felt that he was worse than himself. I don't know which Zhou Ji is. Just as Ling Ju whispered secretly, the handsome yellow man walked towards him. Hello. My name is Zhou Ji, I am glad to meet you. Standard Mandarin, and with a taste of Beijing, shows his identity. Hello, my name is Ling Ju. Ling Ju proactively stretched out his hand. I'm from the base city of Kyoto, how about you? Zhou Ji said warmly. I'm from Lanshan base city. Ling Ju smiled and said, you are so amazing, you won the first place this time. Hee, luck, it won't be so easy next time. Zhou Ji waved his hand, as if he didn't mind the first place at all. There are many evildoers in this super training camp. Due to the limitations of the previous training conditions, they did not really break out. Wait for them to practice here for a while, it will be difficult to defeat them. Monster. Ling Ju raised his eyebrows. The real evildoer. Zhou Ji looked at a handsome white guy. Don't say anything else, just say Christopher Adam, who is ranked 2nd, do you know his power? Ling Ju shook his head. Except for Ai Yuhei and other acquaintances, he didn't know any other students in the training camp. The guy came from Italy, and was later admitted by the Pangu branch in Washington, D.C., with supersonic movement and angulization. Chapter 87. 10 times the speed of sound, strengthen the body. Supersonic power. Angulization ability. The supersonic ability gives Christopher a terrifying speed. At the first level, his speed can reach 2 times the speed of sound. At the second level, his speed can reach 4 times the speed of sound. He is now a 5th level ability, and can reach 10 times the speed of sound. Joji slowly said. 10 times the speed of sound. How fast is that? Ling Ju looked at the handsome blonde white guy. Also, with such a terrifying speed, can his body stand it? When people move, they will receive air resistance. The faster they move, the greater the air resistance they receive. Once the speed of sound exceeds the speed of sound, the resistance from the air will be extremely large, coupled with shock waves and other effects, enough to tear the human body, or even disintegrate. Such as supersonic fighter jets. The third-generation fighter jets before the fourth-generation aircraft cannot achieve sustained supersonic flight. Once the flight time exceeds 1 or 2 minutes, it is easy to be scrapped. The iron bumps made of alloy or even so, let alone the mortal body. Obviously, there is no body strong enough to support supersonic movement, but Christopher can move 10 times the speed of sound. How strong should his body be? This is another ability of his. Joji continued. Angeli's ability. Ling Ju raised his eyebrows. Ling Ju, do you believe there are angels in this world? Joji asked not to answer. Ling Ju was stunned and didn't know how to answer. In principle, he was an atheist and would never believe in such imaginary things as the Jade Emperor God, Angel God and Buddha. The issue is, even crossing this kind of thing can happen, what else is impossible? No one knows whether angels really exist, but after Christopher's alienation, he really looks like an angel. Joji slowly said, the 5-meter-high body, golden wings, and the holy breath exuding from the body are really similar to the legendary angel. So, people call Christopher's alienation ability as an angelic ability, and even many Christians in Europe and the United States regard Christopher as the incarnation of an angel, so this guy has many believers in the local area. Quote. Ling Ju was speechless, and continued to ask. Angelization is very powerful. The function of the angelic ability is very single. It only strengthens the body, but it is enough to support his supersonic ability. This is very bug. Joji sighed. Isn't there such a sentence? The world martial arts, only fast is not broken. When the speed reaches a certain level, people will be strong to a terrible point. You can imagine how strong Christopher is. It's really strong. Ling Ju licked his dry lips, and a heart suddenly became active, moving at supersonic speed. What a wonderful ability. If it can be copied, and then alloyed with his tungsten steel. The picture is so beautiful that Ling Ju can't imagine it. Crack. Click. At this moment, the alloy door leading to the 12 underground chambers suddenly opened, and everyone looked over. A sturdy black man stood at the door. He looked at Ling Ju and others standing at the door, and said lightly, at 12 o'clock in the morning, the 12 underground chambers opened on time. The top 3 first floor. 4, 5, 6, second floor. 7 or 89 third floor. For the next 3 days, you can all stay in the training room to practice. The life enhancement liquid and genetic power enhancement liquid rewarded to you have been distributed to the training room, just drink it directly. Okay, let's all go in. Is teacher. Entering the alloy gate, Ling Ju came to the 3rd floor, together with a white beauty and a brown-haired teenager. The 3 nodded briefly, and then each walked into a training room. The training room is not big, only about 20 square meters. 3 sides are thick alloy walls. Only one side has nothing, no walls, or even glass windows. Ling Ju was surprised, couldn't help but walk to the side without a wall and look down. At this look, Ling Ju was shocked in a cold sweat, and there was a crack below. A crooked, hundreds of meters wide, dozens of kilometers long cracks. The cracks are not bottomed, it is not clear how deep it is. But there was a faint blue light coming out of it, making the crack look like a giant mouth of a monster, as if to choose someone to eat. This is the space crack. Ling Ju's eyes widened. The space crack was obviously hidden deep in the ground. When it appeared, even the earth tore a crack. First the ground seam. Below is the space crack. If you fall, which world will you lead to? Alien planet. Alien domain. No. More likely it is directly torn to pieces by space cracks. Ling Ju observed for a while and then converged his mind and prepared to practice. He first walked to the shelf aside and picked up 2 test tubes. A bottle of green liquid. A bottle of silver liquid. The green liquid should be an intermediate life enhancement liquid, and the silver liquid should be an intermediate genetic power enhancement liquid. Which one should I drink first? Ling Ju hesitated, picked up the green liquid and poured it into his stomach. Shua. Sweet and sour, similar to the taste of sour plum soup, but this sensation of beauty didn't last long, it turned into hot and itchy. A surging heat flow rises from the abdomen, and then spreads toward the limbs and various organs with the abdomen as the center. Chest, arms, www.mtlnovel.com, buttocks, legs. Neck, head. Ling Ju felt like he had drunk a bottle of erguotu. There was a burning sensation, and the heat was mixed with an unbearable itch. Gradually, the strange itching became more and more serious. He only felt as if there were millions of ants crawling all over his body. It made him unbearable, unable to scratch, and could only bear it abruptly. Hot. The whole body is extremely hot, like it is burning to 45 degrees. Itch. The whole body is very itchy, it seems to be able to tickle people alive. Who invented the life enhancement liquid? It's too fucking. Ling Ju cursed secretly. What he didn't know was that in the torment of this kind of heat and itching, his body began to transform, or that strengthening was more appropriate. The skin, muscles, bones, and internal organs are all strengthening at an astonishing speed. The muscles become stronger and fuller, the fascia becomes stronger and free, the bones become firmer and stronger. Everything is happening quickly, hundreds of times faster than usual. It's a pity that this process came intensely, and went even more intensely. In about 10 minutes, all the heat and itchiness disappeared like a tide. It's over. Ling Ju took 2 rough breaths, and noticed that he was wearing a stinky sweat, and there was a layer of black substance stuck to his body, which gave off a nauseating smell. Smelly. Ling Ju frowned secretly and wanted to wash it off, only to find that there was not even a bathroom in the cultivation room, so he could only temporarily dispel this idea. It doesn't matter if it smells bad, practice is the most important thing. Ling Ju comforted herself like this, then picked up the test tube containing the genetic power enhancement solution, and poured it down. Boom. Chapter 88. Breakthrough Level 5, Liberate Combat Power. Boom. The surging genetic power instantly exploded in the body, and then swept the whole body. Ling Ju felt that his body was about to burst, and hurriedly ran, Hainer rivers, to sort out the surging genetic powers. I don't know how long it has been before, and the exploding genetic powers have finally been sorted out. Ling Ju feels that his internal power has become stronger and more powerful. Intermediate genetic power enhancement liquid has such an effect. What is the site of advanced genetic power enhancement liquid? Ling Ju felt unwilling. If I take the advanced genetic power enhancement liquid today, I should be able to take this opportunity to break through the 5th level in one fell swoop. Forget it, hurry up and practice. Ling Ju shook his head, abandoning all thoughts, running hundreds of rivers, plundering the genetic abilities around him. Boom. With this operation, Ling Ju suddenly felt an extremely rich genetic power converging from all directions, madly filling his body. This genetic power is too rich. Ling Ju suddenly opened his eyes full of surprise. The concentration is at least dozens of times that of the outside world. Damn. It's a training treasure. If you practice here. Ling Ju trembled with excitement, looted the genetic powers around him frantically, and frantically enhanced his internal strength. Crack. I don't know how long it has been, the genetic power in the body seems to have broken through a certain kind of shackles, and then smashed thousands of miles, penetrated the body, and wandered in the body wantonly. Up to the brain, down to the soles of the feet, and then to every corner of the body, there are genetic powers filling it, the cycle goes back and forth, endlessly. This moment, Ling Ju suddenly felt that he was very light, as if he lost gravity as light as a feather. It seemed that he could rush for 9 days with a single leap. The body is so light. Ling Ju murmured, the osmium soil slowly overflowed, and then gently lifted. Ling Ju's whole body immediately suspended, just like Vulcan General Manager Jin Chao, suspended in the air. Is this the royal suspension? Ling Ju tried again, and found that he could easily hover in midair by driving osmium, but it was difficult to move. Because there is only the force to lift up, not the force to move forward or backward. Obviously, the use of the Earth control ability can only be used to hover over the Earth, and cannot fly freely like a bird. Try gravity. Ling Ju took back the osmium and controlled the gravity to support himself. He floated up again. Then, Ling Ju adjusted the gravity behind him to move forward, and he floated out suddenly. It's flying. Ling Ju was quite excited. In fact, when he got the power of gravity, he knew that he could fly with the help of gravity, but he was busy practicing and didn't have time to try. I didn't expect to try it a little bit today, and it would succeed. It was unexpectedly easy. However, flying seems to be a technical job. I can only fly slowly now. It is impossible to use flying to fight in a short time. Fight is definitely unable to be used in combat at the moment. With his current flying speed and dodge speed, he is a live target when he flies, and he can only be beaten. Having said that, Ling Ju has already surpassed many 5th level and 6th level abilities in flying. Because, only level 7 can truly fly in the air, and he can do it at level 5. How much time is left? Ling Ju took out his mobile phone. It was 8 o'clock on Wednesday night, and there were only 4 hours left before 12 o'clock. There are 4 hours left, hurry up and practice. 4 hours passed in a flash, and a piercing bell suddenly rang through the training room. The training time is over, all students leave the training room immediately. Damn, I'm not afraid to scare people to death with such a sound in the middle of the night. Ling Ju took out his buzzing ears and left the training room directly. Early the next morning, Ling Ju set off alone. Except for Shi Gang, Ai Yuhei and Yang Linger had no intention of continuing to team up. This happened to Ling Ju's wish, and he did not want to team up. Simply rented some tools, Ling Ju drove the magnetic levitation airship and flew towards the wilderness area at the fastest speed. This time, he did not advance while hunting, but went straight into the wilderness area and came to a dangerous area where powerful and fierce beasts were entrenched. After breaking through the 5th level, Ling Ju had confidence in his own strength and directly set the target to be the 6th order fierce beast. He wanted to hunt the 6th order fierce beast by himself. Turn on the fierce beast radar to search for the target. Good fellow, there are more than 30 tier 6 fierce beasts within a radius of 10 miles. What is this concept? Any 1 or 2 tier 6 fierce beasts is enough to destroy the defenses of Lanshan base city, causing this base city with a population of 5 million to be destroyed. Thinking about the collapse of the Lanshan base city defense that was almost killed by just a bloodthirsty bat, one can imagine what a terrifying force these 30 or so tier 6 beasts are. I have 2 missions this time. First, look for wombats with compound eyes as much as possible, collect their eyes, and prepare for the second awakening potion. Secondly, slaughter tier 6 fierce beasts as much as possible, the more the better. Set a small goal first, and kill it today with 80 tier 6 beasts. Ling Ju licked his lips, www.mtlnovel.com, since he was acting alone, he wanted to liberate his fighting power to the greatest extent. Then, Ling Ju instantly moved to the first tier 6 fierce beast. Who hadn't even approached, Ling Ju heard a thunderous snoring, displayed instant movement, and instantly appeared in front of this tier 6 fierce beast. Seeing this tier 6 fierce beast, Ling Ju's eyes lit up. He stepped through the iron shoes and found nowhere to find it. It didn't take much effort to get it. It turned out to be another wombat with compound eyes. 8-run Lei Jin. Ling Ju was directly alloyed with tungsten steel, and hit the head of the wombat with a punch. After breaking through the 5th level, his combat effectiveness had a huge breakthrough. The attack range of soil control ability has been expanded to 200 meters around. The teleportation range has also been expanded to 200 meters around. The maximum gravity has been increased to 10 times. After being alloyed with tungsten steel, it can exert up to 200 times the normal strength. Yinghua will not say it. Boom. The tungsten-tempered fist is like a cannonball, carrying a terrifying force capable of destroying everything, and it bombards the head of the compound-eyed wombat. Crack. The sound of skull fragmentation sounded, blood shot violently and brain plasma splashed. The compound-eyed wombat's purring stopped abruptly. Before it had time to perform the ability that it copied, it was beaten to the head by Ling Ju in his sleep. How can I be so sad? But it can also be reflected from the side that the lethality of teleportation plus tungsten steel alloying is terrifying, violent, overbearing, and destroying everything. How about 10 times the speed of sound? In terms of speed alone, my teleportation is the fastest and most elusive. Chapter 89. Uninvited Guest, Tianbao Civet. Roar. A crocodile-shaped monster over 30 meters long and full of bones roared at Ling Ju. His eyes were full of cruelty and tyranny, and not far away, a python corpse was lying quietly. Tier 6 Fierce Beast. Bone Spur Monitor Lizard. At this moment, the Bone Spur Monitor was very angry. It finally killed a giant python and was about to enjoy the fruits of victory and have a good meal. As a result, Ling Ju suddenly slayed out, destroying its feast, which made the Bone Spur Monitor very hot. It vowed that it must teach Ling Ju a lesson that will never be remembered, and let him know that it is not something ordinary people can provoke. Roar. The Bone Spur Monitor Lizard flicked its more than 10-meter long tail and drew it at Ling Ju fiercely. Its tail is full of bone spurs. It is extremely tough and powerful. It is the most powerful and lethal weapon besides the teeth of the Bone Spur Monitor. As long as you are drawn, let alone a single person, it is a heavy tank that can be drawn in half. However, when the long tail of the Bone Spur Monitor drew towards Ling Ju at lightning speed, Ling Ju disappeared in place. The next moment, Ling Ju appeared abruptly above the Bone Spur Monitor Lizard's head, followed by a violent blow from Thunderbolt, 8-strike Lei Jin. Crack. The fierce and domineering fist pierced the skull of the Bone Spur Monitor instantly, and the whole arm was inserted into it. The Bone Spur Monitor Lizard stiffened all over, twitched violently for a while and fell to the ground, and soon there was no sound. 5 consecutive Tier 6 Fierce Beasts prove that with teleportation and tungsten steel alloying ability, I now have the ability to kill Tier 6 Fierce Beasts in seconds. Yes, keep on working hard and try to kill 80 Tier 6 Fierce Beasts today. A Tier 6 beast has 10,000 points, and 80 Tier 6 beasts are 800,000 points. 80 heads a day, 240 heads in 3 days. A total of 2.4 million points. It should be no problem first. However, hunting 80 Tier 6 Fierce Beasts is a bit stressful. Ling Ju murmured, then put away the Bone Spur Monitor Lizard's body, and went to the location of the next Tier 6 Fierce Beast. End after end. A lot of Tier 6 Fierce Beasts fell under Ling Ju's iron fist. Ling Ju, acting alone, liberated his fighting power to the greatest extent. Moved close to the beast instantly. Gravity suppresses the beast. Tungsten toughened to kill the beast. Not to mention that the shadowing didn't come in handy, even the land controlling ability that Ling Ju relied on was temporarily shelved. To be honest, in this kind of fast harvesting of the beasts, the efficiency of the soil control ability to kill the beasts is really low. It is not fast enough, not ruthless. You have to find a way to get the detailed information of the training camp students, and then filter the next ability. The cooling time is coming. Originally in Ling Ju's plan, the next thing to be copied was Chong Jiandong's 100-fold gene abilities, which is obviously not possible now. It is beyond reach. Therefore, Ling Ju can only target the training camp students. The sky gradually dimmed, and the night enveloped the land of Australia. There was a roar of beasts one after another. Many fierce beasts that hibernated during the day came out for food. After a tiring day, Ling Ju found a suitable place, released the maglev airship, then turned on the stealth mode, and went inside to rest. Soaking in the hot bathtub, feeling the hot water stimulating his body, Ling Ju could not help but relieved. Today one day, I hunted a total of 72 Tier 6 beasts, and I was close to 80 targets. However, it's okay. Today's harvest is as high as 720,000, which is more than my harvest last Wednesday. Ling Ju felt very happy. He believed that this time, the first 3 would not be a problem. Advanced Life Enhancement Liquid, Advanced Genetic Power Enhancement Liquid, and the right to use the first floor of the 12 underground chambers. Ling Ju was excited when thinking about it. Meow. Just when Ling Ju was yelling, a meow suddenly sounded in his ear. The airship has a very good sound insulation effect. Where does the meow come from? Ling Ju looked up and saw a ***** cat squatting on the table not far from the bathtub. The whole body is black and purple, the eyes are like rubies, and the hair is long. It looks very cute, and can be called a girl killer. However, Ling Ju was creepy. He stared at the ***** cat, his scalp was numb. This guy looked cute, but if he knew its identity, anyone would be creepy. Tianbao Civet, Tier 8 Fierce Beast, ranked 72nd on the list of fierce beasts. Ling Ju swallowed, his throat rolled, and his heart hung up. Tianbao Civet is a terrifying Tier 8 fierce beast, and it also has special abilities, that is, through the wall. Tianbao civets' ability to penetrate walls is terrifying, not limited to walls. They can ignore the barriers of the earth, rocks, metals, trees and other obstacles, and shuttle through these obstacles at will. They belong to the strangest 8th rank beast. Of course, some people think that the ability of the Tianbao civet is blur or space ability, so it can ignore all obstacles. All in all, the Tianbao civet is a very mysterious and powerful beast. People have very little information about them. They only know that the Tianbao civet is a terrifying existence that cannot be easily provoked. Damn it! How can such a terrifying beast appear here? Ling Ju cursed in his heart. www.mtlnovel.com is ready to move instantaneously. If this Tianbao civet showed signs of attacking him, he would teleport away without hesitation. But what Ling Ju didn't expect was that the Tianbao civet did not attack him, but walked to the bag, bit a piece of nutritious dried meat and ate it. Beggar. Ling Ju was shocked. This kind of nutritious jerky is a nutritious jerky made from the main material of the training camp, and then some ingredients and nutrients are added. Not only contains rich nutrition, but also contains abundant genetic powers. It is the main food source for each student to enter the wilderness area. Ling Ju bought more than 20 bags when he was out, and spent tens of thousands of dollars in total, which can be said to be very expensive. At this moment, the Tianbao civet bit a piece of nutritious dried meat and ate it with relish. Its teeth are very sharp, and the hard and flexible jerky in its mouth is like a crisp carrot, and a piece of jerky is gone in the blink of an eye. Then, it bit another piece of dried meat and ate it with relish. After a while, all the nutritious dried meat in the bag was finished. After searching for no results, the Tianbao civet blinked its ruby-like eyes and looked at Ling Ju eagerly, with longing and expectation in his eyes. This is Lao Su's food. You eat it so Lao Su can drink northwest wind. Ling Ju cursed secretly. Meow. Tianbao civet's voice sank. Ling Ju stiffened, wittily took out a bag of nutritious dried meat, then opened it and handed it over. Wild animals are friends of mankind. It is everyone's responsibility to protect wild animals. Ling Ju Dai awe-inspiring. Yes. I am protecting wild animals, protecting the ecological environment, and protecting our earth, not from my heart. Chapter 90. Crystal Salamander, Flower of the Underworld. Tianbao civet cat was like eating spicy strips, and soon finished the second-generation nutritious jerky, and then continued to look at Ling Ju with full of expectation. Ling Ju wanted to stare, and cursed hardly. You are a foodie. Let you finish eating, I eat wool. But Ling Ju dare not. Facing such a terrifying beast that can kill him at any time, all Ling Ju can do is counsel. Bah, how can the protection of wild animals be called counseling? Correct. Protect the wild animal. Then, Ling Ju took out another bag of nutritious dried meat, tore open the package, and passed it wisely. Tianbao Lingmao's eyes seemed to show a satisfied smile, and then he ate it happily. One bag after another. After a while, 7 or 8 bags of nutritious dried meat were eaten, and the Tianbao civet was finally full, stretched lazily, and then slightly jumped over a distance of more than 10 meters, and jumped onto the bed not far away. That's Ling Ju's bed. It's a top-grade ridge-protecting silent spring mattress covered with top-grade white velvet quilts. It's soft and comfortable to sleep on. Tianbao civet climbed down comfortably, found a comfortable position, curled up together, and started to sleep. Operator. Oh, operator. Ling Ju was stunned. What do you mean? Want to take my bed as your own? Damn. Ling Ju was furious. Okay, I ate Lao Su's jerky and now I am occupying Lao Su's bed. Insatiable. Deceive people too much. But who would call Lao Su a staunch protector of wild animals? I don't care about a wild animal that needs to be protected. Ling Ju cautiously crawled out of the bathtub, then cautiously wiped off the water on his body, and came to the corner to practice cautiously. He didn't dare to get too absorbed, for fear of being killed by the Tianbao civet. Was frightened all night. Luckily one night passed, the Tianbao civet did not attack Ling Ju, but clamored for something to eat the next morning. Ling Ju couldn't help it, and gave him a few bags of nutritious dried meat. After he was full and drank enough, the Tianbao civet stretched out comfortably, then jumped slightly and plunged into the wall and disappeared. Ling Julian opened the hatch, and saw that the Tianbao civet had appeared outside. It took an elegant catwalk and left step by step. Its pace is not great, but every time it takes a step, It appears as if it shrinks to an inch and appears more than a dozen meters away, and it disappears from sight quickly. Looking at its back, Ling Ju couldn't help touching his neck. Fortunately, his head was still there. It seems that the Tianbao civet was merciful last night. I was in the same room with a tier 8 fierce beast last night. God. Ling Ju was shocked in a cold sweat. Hurry up. I hope it won't come again. Ling Ju put on his clothes, put away the maglev airship, and hurriedly left. Boom. A giant python with a body length of 50 meters fell down. Its waist was as thick as a water tank, with a sharp horn on its head, 4 claws under its abdomen, and very developed waist muscles. This is not a dragon, but the famous Tier 6 beast unicorn lizard, a combination of python and lizard, with a special ability to control the ice. Collecting the body of the unicorn lizard python, Ling Ju continued to move forward, and soon came to a cave, which was more like an underground cave. Should be formed by the impact of a river, lying below the ground level, crookedly and unknowingly extending to the depths of the earth. The radar shows that there is a Tier 6 beast hidden deep in this cave. Ling Ju looked at the dark pit, hesitated for a moment or walked in. Fortunately, the hole was high and wide enough, and soon came to the depths of the hole. There was a pool of water in front of her eyes. The area was small, only half the size of a basketball court. An icy and gloomy breath came from the pool. The fierce beast radar shows that the Tier 6 fierce beast is in this pool. Huh. What is that? Just as Ling Ju was staring at the water pool looking for the beast, he suddenly caught a glimpse of a few white plants growing on the wall opposite the water pool. With the light of a flashlight, it can be clearly seen that this is a white plant with white leaves, white vines, and white rhizomes. Milky white like milk. White plant. Ling Ju was surprised. As we all know, black plants and white plants are the least common in nature, so white plants and black plants are quite famous. However, after searching through the memory, Ling Ju could not find information about this cluster of white plants. Just when Ling Ju was about to search with a microcomputer. Wow! The pool water rustled, and a bare head slowly emerged. The whole body is milky white, resembling a frog and a salamander, and there are 6 coronal protrusions on the neck. Crystal newt. Ling Ju appeared in the sky above the crystal salamander in a flash, punched through the crystal salamander's head, and killed it on the spot. Putting away the body of the crystal salamander, Ling Ju manipulated gravity and floated to the mud wall opposite the pool. What a beautiful plant. www.mtlnovel.com is like an ice sculpture formed by freezing milk. Ling Ju exclaimed, took out the microcomputer and scanned it. Crystal devil orchid. The plant is more than 10 centimeters high, the rhizome is upright and does not branch, and the whole body is milky white. It grows clustered in the dark underground, so it is also called the flower of underworld, or flower of death ghost flower. Crystal magic orchid can secrete a peculiar substance, attract animals to come, and then use the animal's identification, urine, and even animal carcasses as nourishment. This peculiar substance is Substance Y, a natural power awakening potion. Any animal or beast that has licked Substance Y will gain special abilities. The specific abilities vary from animal to animal. Awakening rate, 100%. Because of its outstanding ability awakening effect, the crystal magic orchid is a wonderful ability awakening treasure, and it is also used as a natural deep abilities awakening medicine. The deep awakening rate, 60%. Quote. Natural. Deep power awakening potion. Ling Ju was shocked all over his body, and immediately fell into ecstasy, stepping through the iron shoes and finding nowhere to find it, it was all effortless. I thought it would take a lot of trouble to get the second awakening potion, but I didn't expect to get the natural deep abilities awakening potion here. God is helping him. See how to take it. Chapter 91. One day has passed, copy. Crystal Molin is not troublesome to take, just take it off the root, clean it, and swallow it. I hope this crystal devil orchid can awaken my copying ability a second time. Ling Ju took a deep breath and swallowed a crystal magic orchid into his stomach. After a while, an icy breath rose from the abdomen, and went straight to the sky, and finally enveloped the entire brain. At this time, Ling Ju felt a trance, and found that he had come to an icy world with countless tornadoes raging around. Ling Ju accidentally was swallowed by a tornado several hundred meters high. The high-speed rotation made Ling Ju feel dizzy, like a severe motion sickness, and a strong feeling of vomiting hit his mind. Wow. I don't know how long it has been. When Ling Ju felt that he landed again, his head was dizzy, a sour smell in his mouth, and when he looked at the ground, it was all vomit. Ling Ju smiled bitterly. Although crystal Molan has amazing effects, it has very serious side effects. It can easily cause hallucinations, nausea and vomiting. Is my copy ability awakened for the second time? Ling Ju took a deep breath. The next moment, after a while, Ling Ju found himself in a strange place. This is a dark and mysterious space, surrounded by darkness, unable to see farther, only the dark center has light. I saw a huge golden light ball floating in the dark center, emitting golden light, bringing light to this mysterious dark place. How big is it? Can't tell. Seems to be very big, but also very small. Around the golden ball of light, there are 4 or 5 smaller ball of light. A whole body is pitch black. One is khaki. One colorless and transparent. A dark silver. A bright silver. They are like 9 planets orbiting the Sun, including the Earth, Mars, and Venus, quietly revolving around the golden sphere. What is this? Is it my ability? The golden ball of light in the center represents the ability to copy. The 5 small light around represent the 5 abilities I copied. Just when Ling Ju was about to explore these light further, he suddenly felt a tearing force, and the next moment, consciousness returned to his body. Is that my ability just now? Ling Ju murmured, the images just appeared in his mind constantly. The question is here, has my copy ability been awakened for the second time? Ling Ju couldn't see that mysterious space before, but now he can. Does this mean that his copy ability succeeded in the second awakening? Go back and try again. Ling Ju rinsed his mouth with water, then dug out the remaining crystal magic orchid and put it in the dedicated space bag. There are a total of 3 crystal magic orchids growing here. He took one, and there are 2 remaining, which is a good thing. You must know that the Crystal Devil Orchid is a high-level treasure, and a Crystal Devil Orchid is worth 50 billion plus 500 contribution points. 2 plants are 100 billion plus 1000 contribution points, and they can be sold even if they are not used. In other words, Ling Ju made another big profit in this wave. It would be great if I could have such a harvest every day. Ling Ju muttered a few words, then took out the phone to check the time. At this look, Ling Ju was stunned. 9:31, February 10th, Saturday. On Saturday. It's Saturday today. Ling Ju's eyes widened. I took a crystal magic orchid, and the time went from Friday morning to Saturday morning. Damn. This is the end. One day was lost. Ling Ju was very upset. For a whole day, how much time was it wasting him? It's a pity that until now, complaining is useless. The only thing I can do is to seize the remaining time and hunt as many tier 6 beasts as possible. Hurry up. The short day soon ended. When Ling Ju dragged his exhausted body back to the training camp and handed in the goods, the time just came to 6 o'clock. I'm exhausted. Ling Ju almost slumped down on the ground. He was really tired today. He hunted and killed all the time and spared no effort. Finally, the harvest can still make do. I really tried my best. I hope my results won't be too bad this time. Ling Ju let out a suffocating breath and walked towards the dormitory. At this moment, a student walked by, causing Ling Ju's surprise to happen. Name: Emmanuel Fettes. Race: human race. Abilities: Perspective Eyes, awakened, can be copied. Gold Control, awakened, can be copied. Ling Ju was stunned. Is his copy ability available again? There is obviously more than half a month left before the 2-month cooling off period. Also, I can see his information without touching that guy. Just in Ling Ju's stunned kung fu, the student walked away, and the small golden letters that appeared in his mind disappeared. Ling Ju speeded up his steps, and when he approached the student 5 meters, the small golden letters representing the ability to copy appeared again. Name: Emmanuel Fettes. Race: human race. Abilities: Perspective Eyes, awakened, can be copied. Gold Control, awakened, can be copied. Gosh. I can search through the air now. Ling Ju was extremely excited. Also, the cooling time is obviously not up yet, but my copy ability can be used. What does this mean? It shows that my copying ability is stronger. Not only can I copy it in a short time, but the cooldown period seems to be shortened. It's cool. Crystal Molin is indeed a natural deep awakening potion. I made it. Go back. Then find the training camp student information, www.mtlnovel.com, select suitable abilities. Ling Ju couldn't wait to return to the dormitory when he saw Shi Gang sitting in front of the computer. Ling Ju, you are back. Seeing Ling Ju, Shi Gang smiled. Came back. Ling Ju spread his legs on the bed, slumped on the bed, and asked weakly, Shi Gang, how are your gains this time? Shi Gang suddenly smiled bitterly. You don't know my situation. Although my flame can kill tier 6 fierce beasts, it is too dangerous for me to be alone. Everything must be careful. After 3 days, the harvest is not as good as when we formed a team. Okay. Ling Ju nodded. Shi Gang's fire damage is indeed terrifying, but the self-protection ability is too poor. Once he is stared at by the mad tier 6 fierce beast, he will undoubtedly die. It can be said that Shi Gang, a power player similar to a mage, eats his teammates too much, and he needs to find a tank to protect him. How about you? Shi Gang asked again. Make do. Ling Ju shook his head. By the way, what are you looking at? Information of training camp students. Shi Gang explained. I see if there is a suitable student, and then find a reliable person to team up. My ability is too dependent on teammates. Student profile. Ling Ju raised his eyebrows, and said in surprise, do you have information about the training camp students? Okay. Where did you get it from? Do you still have to do this? Shi Gang is speechless. The company's official website has long announced the list of students of this super training camp, which also includes detailed information about each student. Quote. Ling Ju. Chapter 92. Copy again, the internal force disappears. Lin Ying, 16 years old, from the base city of Kyoto, powers, atomization, water control. Yu Guang, 15 years old, from the base city of the Magic City, ability, stealth, fire control. Zhou Ji, 17 years old, from the base city of Kyoto, abilities, split, hypnosis, ultimate alchemy. No wonder Zhou Ji is so efficient in hunting fierce beasts. It turns out that he has 3 abilities, which is abnormal enough. But, what kind of power is this ultimate alchemy? I opened this ability at 9 o'clock and found that the ultimate alchemy ability is simply a bug, because this ability can convert any matter into metal. Awesome. Ling Ju sighed. Split plus hypnosis plus ultimate alchemy. It is the perfect combination for hunting the beasts, no wonder Zhou Ji is so efficient. Of course, this is not the best combination. If Zhou Ji has the ability to control metals or magnetic fields, he will be invincible. Ultimate alchemy plus controlled metal, magnetic field plus split plus hypnosis, who else can beat him? Split and ultimate alchemy are both good abilities, so write it down on your notebook first. Continue to check. Christopher Adam, 16 years old, from Base City, Washington, ability, supersonic movement, angelic. Hirano Hagi, 17 years old, from the base city of Sao Paulo, powers, super body and vibration powers. Super body. Ling 9 o'clock to activate this ability. Super body. 10 times the physical strength, 10 times the speed, 10 times the agility, 10 times the endurance, 10 times the defense, 10 times the self-healing, 10 times the energy, 10 times the eyesight, 10 times the hearing, 10 times the sense of smell, and 10 times the night vision ability. My grass. What a perverted ability. Ling Ju was dumbfounded. Physical strength, agility, endurance, defense, self-healing, and energy are all 10 times that of ordinary people with abilities. This is so bug. It's a pity. I don't like it. Ling Ju really looks down on it. The super body is indeed very powerful. All attributes are 10 times, superimposed on each other. The fighting power that bursts out is definitely more than 10 times as simple. The problem is, Ling Ju has more and better choices. 100 times the strength is not good. Is 100 times faster? Are you unhappy with 100 times agility? Isn't XXX beautiful? So, why copy 10 times? Pass. Next. Ling Ju continue browsing. Teleport. This is great. My teleportation is a short distance movement. Currently, I can only move within a range of 200 meters, while teleportation seems to be a long distance movement. Write it down on the small book first. Cause others to get cancer. Grass. What a disgusting power. The body is diamondized. This ability is a bit awkward. If you have this ability, you won't have to worry about running out of money in the future. X-ray. Super healing. Manipulating other people's bodies at the genetic level through contact, so that they can heal their injuries. This ability is okay. Electronic eye. It can absorb various forms of energy such as solar energy, wind energy, sound wave, etc., send out electronic shock waves from the eyes and then attack. Quote. After reading the information of all the students, Ling Ju was eye-opening, and he really complied with the sentence. There are no two identical eggs in the world, let alone two identical abilities. Ling Ju looked at his notebook again, and recorded more than a dozen abilities in total. Including Ai Yuhei's control space, Yongling Er's control of the 5 elements and annihilation of the 5 elements, Zhouji's ultimate alchemy, 10,000 times genetic power. Each one is a very powerful ability. Every time a power is copied, Ling Ju will become stronger, more perfect, and more perverted. The issue is, which one to copy first? My tungsten steel alloying plus teleportation gives me the ability to kill tier 6 beasts in seconds, but using 8-fold Ben Lei Jin is too expensive. So, make up for this shortcoming first. Ling Ju finally chose 10,000 times genetic power. This power is even more abnormal than Chong Jiandong's 100 times genetic power. With it, Ling Ju will have tens of thousands of times the usual genetic power. With sufficient genetic powers, I can continue to hunt down the beasts. Thinking of this, Ling Ju searched for the student with tens of thousands of times genetic power and found her dormitory, and found that she lived in 302 dormitory. Ling Ju, where are you going? Go out and breathe. Ling Ju came to the door of the 302 dormitory, and the abilities of the 2 female students in the 302 dormitory came to mind. Name: Juliana Bodley. Race: human race. Abilities: Control Gold, awakened, can be copied. Spray Acid, awakened, can be copied. Name: Janet Ferguson. Race: human race. Abilities: 10,000 times genetic power, awakened, can be copied. Superpower, awakened, can be copied. Copy 10,000 times gene ability. The order was given, and Ling Ju saw the line of small golden letters break away from his body, flew into the 302 dormitory, and returned soon. The replication is successful. Is it integrated? Don't merge first. Ling Ju hurried back to the dormitory, then shut himself into the bathroom, and turned on the faucet and shower head to make noise. Shi Gang glanced at the bathroom. No doubt there was him. Ling Ju just came back from the wilderness area, taking a bath in reason. Fusion. Boom. A violent energy suddenly exploded in Ling Ju's body, sweeping the internal organs, all organs, and even every cell in the body in the blink of an eye. Then, start to transform the cells. This is the real transformation from the cell level. All cells are being transformed by that violent energy. But the transformation was accompanied by great pain. From the soles of the feet to the top of the head, and then to the whole body, there was an overwhelming pain in every part. www.mtlnovel.com, Nima. Quote. Every time. I'm going crazy. Ling Ju gritted his teeth, and endured the pain from waves of pain, but he still wanted to make no noise as much as possible. He is so difficult. Fortunately, the pain came and went quickly. After about 10 minutes, all the pain disappeared like a tide. Ling Ju got up from the ground panting heavily, and then checked his body, only to discover that all the genetic powers in his body disappeared. Yes. Disappeared. Disappeared out of thin air. Disappeared without a trace. What's the situation? Ling Ju stunned. Genetic powers were originally stored in the meridians, but now, the meridians are empty, not to mention the strong liquid genetic powers that were like mercury, now even a gaseous genetic power molecule is invisible. Where is my genetic power? Ling Ju was shocked. Didn't I just copy a 10,000 times gene ability power? How could all the genetic power in my body disappear? Logically speaking, after copying this power, the genetic power in the body should explode 10,000 times, not like it is now, it becomes zero. What's the situation? Chapter 93. One false alarm, ranked 3rd. Ling Ju was in a hurry, and hurriedly ran, Hainan 100 rivers, and began to absorb the rich genetic powers within a kilometer. However, Ling Ju discovered that no matter how he absorbed the genetic powers that entered the body, they would disappear without a trace after 3 seconds. Absorb and disappear. Absorb and disappear. The body seemed to have broken a big hole. Ling Ju had been busy for most of the day, and the meridians were still empty. What happened? Ling Ju was a little mad, and even took out a microcomputer to search for tens of thousands of times genetic power. He wanted to know what went wrong. After checking this, Ling Ju couldn't help but let out a long sigh of relief. Nima scared me. Ling Ju wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. He knew why the genetic power disappeared. Everything is the ghost of the cell. It turns out that the genetic abilities of general abilities are generally stored in the meridians, not in the cells. But the cells of the supernatural person with 10,000 times genetic power are very special. Their genetic powers can not only be stored in the meridians, but also in the cells. In other words, cells are their first choice for storing genetic abilities. How many cells are there in the human body? Therefore, the genetic abilities that cells can store far exceed the genetic abilities that can be stored in the meridians. Because of this, a person with tens of thousands of times genetic power can store so many genetic powers. That's it. Ling Ju exhaled a turbid breath, completely relieved, thinking that there was something wrong with his body. It turned out that all his internal power had been eaten by the cells. False alarm. Ling Ju continued to absorb genetic powers. Once the genetic powers entered the body, they would still be divided up by the vast number of cells, but Ling Ju no longer panicked. Absorb. Divide. Absorb. Divide. Ling Ju is like a bottomless pit, madly absorbing genetic powers within a kilometer radius, but no matter how much it absorbs, the meridians are always empty. In a blink of an eye, Sunday afternoon, Ling Ju was woken up by Shi Gang. Ling Ju, it's 5:50, the ranking is about to be updated, let's go down and take a look. Ling Ju opened his eyes, and there was a touch of helplessness in his eyes. He did not eat or drink for a whole day, and the meridians were always empty. What's so? Ling Ju didn't know what to say. Forget it, let's go around. Not surprisingly, I should be able to make the list this time, and it should be absorbed in the 12 chambers underground by then, and it should be able to fill the meridians. Ling Ju got up, grumbled in his stomach, took out a bag of jerky and ate a few mouthfuls, and then went downstairs with Shi Gang. The other students almost arrived. Yuhei and Yonglinger also arrived. Ling Ju walked over to them. Long time no see. Ling Ju smiled and said hello, counting the time. Since coming back from the wilderness area last Saturday, he hasn't seen these two beautiful girls for a week. Long time no see. The two women nodded. How is your harvest this week? Ling Ju asked with a smile. It's better than last time. Yuhei answered truthfully. How about you? It's better than last time too. Ling Ju said. You all have more than last time, but I have less than last time. Shi Gang grumbled. Updated. The ranking has been updated. At this time, there was a commotion in the audience. The list is updated. Ling Ju looked at the rankings, and Yuhei, Yonglinger, and Shi Gang also looked over. Number 1. Zhou Ji, 1.69 million. Number 2. Christopher Adam, 1.55 million. Number 3. Ling Ju, 1.54 million. Third place. Ling Ju nodded slightly, similar to what I predicted. How much he had gained. Ling Ju knew well that he hunted 72 Tier 6 beasts on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and desperately on Saturday, and he barely killed 80. A total of 154 Tier 6 beasts were hunted in 3 days, and the result was exactly 1.54 million. This result is barely 40,000 higher than Zhou Ji's first result, but it is clear that Zhou Ji did not stand still, he improved by 190,000. So, it's number 1 again. However, only this time. Ling Ju clenched his fists secretly. Next time. I will definitely get the first place. Ling Ju, I actually climbed to third place. Yuhei's voice sounded, and the words contained surprise. Last time your score was only 615,000, but this time it was as high as 1.54 million. It seems that you have hidden your strength in teaming with us. Haha. Ling Ju smiled awkwardly and changed the subject. How are you this time? Just the 9th. Yuhei showed a smile. Compared with the 3rd grade, the 9th is slightly inferior, but being able to squeeze into the top 9 means that she is qualified to practice in the 12 underground chambers. She is quite satisfied. Ling Ju looked at the 9th place, and she saw Yuhei's name. Her score was 890,000, which was a big improvement from the previous team. What surprised Ling Ju was that Yonglinger actually ranked 8th, with a score of 920,000, which is higher than Yuhei, which is a bit weird. You must know that although Yongling'er's ability is abnormal, he has inconvenience in his legs and feet after all. It is not easy to achieve such a result when a person acts alone. www.mtlnovel.com. You have a third place, an eighth, and a ninth, but I slipped to 100. Is there anything more obvious than my retreat? Shi Gang wants to cry without tears. Ling Ju was stunned and couldn't help looking at the list. It took a while before he saw Shi Gang's name in the 139th place. No 139, history, 389,000. Regress is indeed obvious. The drop is indeed very big. Ling Ju wanted to comfort him, but he didn't know how to comfort him. No matter what he said, there seemed to be suspicions of showing off. Forget it, I still don't comfort him. Let's have a meal together in a while. Ling Ju could only suggest that. Yuhei and Yonglinger nodded. Eat. In the evening, Ling Ju arrived at the 12th room underground on time, and everyone else arrived. Okay, Ling Ju, I went straight from 9th to 3rd, and the improvement is too obvious. Joji took the initiative to say hello. You are even better, dominating the top of the list for 2 consecutive weeks. Ling Ju also smiled and said, I heard that I have been ranked first 3 times in a row. The reward will be very generous. Not continuous, but accumulation. 2 bright lights flashed in Joji's eyes. If you can get the first 3 times in total, the reward is indeed very rich. You can get a top genetic power secret technique worth 1,000 contribution points, a top heaven material treasure worth 1,000 contribution points, and a top genetic potion worth 1,000 contribution points. So exaggerated. Ling Ju was shocked. This is nothing. If you can get the first 6 times, or even 9 times, the reward will only be more exaggerated. Chapter 94. The advantage is, I finally have enough. Ling Ju was shocked. A top genetic power secret technique worth 1,000 contribution points. A top quality treasure worth 1,000 contribution points. A top genetic medicine worth 1,000 contribution points. This is too rich. Ling Ju took a breath. The top genetic power secret technique, needless to say, it is worth 1,000 contribution points. Even if you have money, you can't buy it, but it is given as a reward here. A top-level natural treasure worth 1,000 contribution points, this one is also very generous. Ice Yukao is only an intermediate-level natural material and geological treasure, and the Crystal Devil Orchid is only a high-level natural material and geological treasure. You can imagine how precious the top natural material and geological treasure is. The third is the top gene medicine worth 1,000 contribution points. The Water of Life, the 30-year life-extending thing, is only a high-level genetic medicine. You can imagine how precious the top genetic medicine is. These 3 things, no matter what, you can't buy with money, you can't buy it if you have money, but in the super training camp, they are only rewards. Is it rich? Is very rich. The reward for accumulating the first 3 times is so rich, I really don't know how rich the first one accumulating 6 times, and how rich the first one is 9 times. Crack, click. Just as Ling Ju was secretly calculating, the alloy door leading to the 12 underground chambers opened again, and Joji took the lead in walking in. Forget it, I don't want to reward for the time being, but try to use the rich genetic powers in the training room, and fill up the genetic powers in the body first. Came to the first floor and walked into the training room. Ling Ju first took the life enhancement liquid and drank it. After experiencing more painful suffering, Ling Ju felt that his body had become stronger again. The skin is more compact. The muscles are stronger. Fascia is stronger. The bones are harder. The cells are more active. More energy. The vitality is more surging. For people with abilities, genetic abilities are important, but the body is also very important, so every time a bottle of life enhancement liquid is equipped. Ling Ju exclaimed. The benefits of a stronger body are obvious: faster speed, stronger defense, stronger strength, better endurance, more energy, clearer mind, and stronger explosive power. It would be even better if there was a bottle of life enhancer every day. Ling Ju continued to pick up the test tube containing the genetic power enhancement solution and drank it. Boom! The surging genetic power instantly exploded in the abdomen, like a raging flood, far more crazy than the intermediate genetic power booster I took last time. It is worthy of the advanced genetic power enhancement liquid, This effect is more explosive than the intermediate genetic power enhancement liquid. Ling Ju secretly admired, but before he had time to unclog, the genetic powers raging in his body were reduced at a terrifying speed. 1,000, 500, 200, 100, 50, 0. In just a few minutes, the genetic power that exploded and raged in the body disappeared without a trace, as if it had never appeared before. Looking at the meridians, it is still empty. Ling Ju couldn't laugh or cry. Let you flood the sky, the effect is strong, but under my super system of 10,000 times genetic power, I still bow my head obediently. Ling Ju really saw the horror of the 10,000 times gene ability, and the ability to carry the gene ability was too exaggerated. Advanced genetic power enhancement liquid, even a spray is gone. I only have 3 days. Hurry up. Ling Ju didn't dare to delay, running, Hainan 100 rivers, and absorbing the genetic powers around him. Boom. The genetic abilities within a kilometer of a radius were triggered, www.mtlnovel.com, gathered in a swarm, and unexpectedly formed a very dense fog around. However, Ling Ju was like a bottomless pit. Those who came would not refuse. He frantically swallowed the surrounding mist, and a whirlpool formed directly above his head. Buzzing. Genetic powers crazily poured into the whirlpool, and then poured into Ling Ju's body. Every moment, massive genetic powers were swallowed by Ling Ju. The genetic powers of the first level are more than 100 times more abundant than the third level. Too exaggerated. Absorb. Absorb. Crazy absorption. Monday and Tuesday were fleeting, and the meridians were still empty, which made Ling Ju secretly anxious. Wouldn't it be able to fill up the cells in his body with such crazy absorption of genetic power? It wasn't until Wednesday afternoon that the cells seemed to have finally eaten up and stopped sharing the genetic powers that flowed into the body. There was something in the meridians. Huh, I'm finally full. Ling Ju secretly breathed a sigh of relief, and then continued to absorb. When it was approaching 12 o'clock, the meridians finally filled up again. If there is no underground 12 chambers, if I absorb it from the outside world, I am afraid it will take several years to fill it up. Ling Ju sighed. However, I have so many genetic powers now, and I can't use it all day and night, right? It's cool. Ling Ju stretched out, walked out of the training room, then returned to the dormitory, ate something casually, and started to sleep. Chapter 95. Is it a crossing cat? Temporary assignment. On Thursday morning, Ling Ju had breakfast and then left the training camp. Shi Gang, Ai Yuhei, Yong Linger and other students also left. I heard from Shi Gang last night that he found a partner, a man. That guy has super defense plus super power, as well as the ability to control gravity. It is a perfect tank and support. So, they were going to have a big fight, so they couldn't wait to leave. Ling Ju wished them good luck. Today's weather is a bit gloomy. The sky is densely covered with dark clouds. Thick black clouds cover the sky like a quilt, making it extremely hot. It is going to rain. Ling Ju came to the depths of the wilderness and started a new round of slaughter. Because of an accident last week, he missed the first place. Ling Ju did not allow this to happen again, so this week, he must go all out. The Fierce Beast radar shows that there are 5 Tier 6 Fierce Beasts ahead. Ling Ju came to a lake, the lake was clear, and several large lizards were playing on the water. They have a body length of 30 to 40 meters, with scales all over their body, dark brown markings all over their body, especially the crown-like bulge on the top of their head. Coxcomb golden back lizard. Without any extra words, Ling Ju rushed directly into the group of coxcomb and golden back lizards, launching the most violent attack. Boom! The fist blasted out like a cannonball, and instantly penetrated the head of a coxcomb and golden back lizard, killing it on the spot. The remaining 4 coxcomb and golden-backed lizards were stunned, and immediately furious, biting Ling Ju like crazy. Shen Luo Tianzheng. Boom! The violent repulsion suddenly erupted, with a muffled bang, and the 4 coxcomb golden lizards flew upside down. 8 Run Lei Jin. Quote. Get it done. Put away 5 monitor lizard corpses. Ling Ju continued to search for the next batch of fierce beasts. The location where he is located is very deep into the wilderness area, and there are almost no fierce beasts below the 6th order, all are the 6th order fierce beasts and the 7th order fierce beasts. There are a few tier 6 beasts in the northeast. Rumble. There were a few muffled thunders in the sky, And after a while, the pouring rain poured down, and in the blink of an eye, the entire wasteland was shrouded in whiteness. Will heavy rain stop Ling Ju's pace? Of course not. Ling Ju took off his coat, only put on a pair of shorts, and then let the heavy rain slap, but he was not moved, and directly killed the few Tier 6 beasts. In a blink of an eye, one day passed, and when the night fell again, Ling Ju, who had been working hard all day, released the maglev airship and soaked in a beautiful bath. Today, a total of 98 Tier 6 beasts were hunted and the mission was successfully completed. Ling Ju counted the receipts. He was very satisfied with his performance today. 10,000 times genetic power is cool, he is like a tireless killing machine, from morning to night, never stop. The continuous killing finally allowed him to successfully hunt 98 Tier 6 beasts. I'm going to make the number 1. Ling Ju smiled triumphantly, then tore open a pack of nutritious jerky and ate it. Although his genetic powers were still plentiful, he was physically exhausted, and he urgently needed to eat to supplement nutrients and energy. Meow. At this moment, a low cat cry sounded. Ling Ju was full of excitement, and he saw a 1-meter-long cat appeared on the table again, staring at the nutritious jerky in his hand. Heaven. Tianbao civet. Ling Ju's mouth twitched. Brother. Why are you here again? Meow. Seeing that Ling Ju was indifferent, the Tianbao civet moaned twice and urged. Am I special? Ling Ju cursed in his heart, but he was photographed by the other's lewdness, and finally became a wild animal protector obediently. Eat, eat, eat more. Look at making you thinner, I feel distressed. Meow. The Tianbao civet yelled happily, chewed it happily, ate and drank enough, then climbed onto Ling Ju's bed and fell asleep. Am I special? Tianbao Ling Cat left early the next morning, but Ling Ju didn't want to see it again, let alone be in the same room with such a dangerous Tier 8 fierce beast. Therefore, he flew far away in the magnetic levitation airship before he started hunting the beasts. When camping at night, Ling Ju found a very hidden cave before releasing the airship. Today, the Tianbao civet should not be able to come, right? Ling Ju shook the goblet and tasted the 20-year-old collection of Coke, thinking triumphantly. Meow. A meow sounded. Ling Ju was full of spirits, and when he turned his head with difficulty, he saw a familiar figure. Ling Ju almost collapsed. How did you find me? Although there are 10,000 grass and mud horses galloping past, what can be done? Rush. It's impossible to catch up, and it's impossible to catch up in this life. You can only keep the jerky with nutritious meat and let it be full. However, after coming so many times, Ling Ju gradually became less afraid. This Tianbao civet seemed to be just begging for food, and didn't mean to eat him. Don't eat me. That would be easy. Ling Ju got bold. When feeding the Tianbao civet this time, he plucked up the courage and carefully touched the furry head of the Tianbao civet. As a result, instead of attacking Ling Ju, the Tianbao civet showed an expression of enjoyment, which invigorated Ling Ju and touched it more vigorously. Touched his head and touched his back. Scratched his neck and scratched his belly. In the end, I just opened it directly, but this guy still didn't mean to attack Ling Ju. Isn't this a waste cat? Ling Ju muttered a little. The performance of this Tianbao civet is too abnormal, it is not like a qualified beast at all, let alone a fierce beast of Tier 8. Other fierce beasts are cruel, and treat people as if they kill their fathers and enemies. It's good not to attack humans. www.mtlnovel.com, how can they be so close to humans? Whereas this not only took the initiative to get close to humans, but also took the initiative to find food for humans, and even willing to let Ling Ju scratch it and scratch it. Whereas this beast. Ordinary domestic cats are not like this when they see strangers. Only those park stray cats that are fed by thousands of people and are not afraid of people. Is this a stray cat who crossed over? Looking at the Tianbao civet, who enjoys her petting very much, Ling Ju thought with malicious intent, especially if you are a scum cat. You are a scum and traitor in the beast world, I despise you. After enjoying Ling Ju's stroking, the Tianbao civet rushed to Ling Ju's bed again, found a comfortable position, and fell asleep happily. Go. Go to the ground and sleep. This is Lao Su's bed. Ling Ju wanted to curse, but looking at the sleeping Tianbao civet, he finally took it seriously. Forget it, go to sleep. This night, Ling Ju slept with the Tianbao civet. Don't look at the fierce reputation of this guy, but he held it quite comfortable. No words for a night. The next day, when Ling Ju got up, the phone rang suddenly. Attention all students, post temporary tasks. Attention all students, post temporary tasks. Attention all students, post temporary tasks. The Murray River flows through the Millbora area, and a rainbow snake was found. Preliminary inference, it is likely to be a top-level treasure. Please go and explore immediately. Training Camp Promise. Catch the rainbow snake, reward 2 million points. Rainbow snake. The top treasures of heaven and earth. 2 million points reward. Damn. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel Chapter 96, Special Substances, Into Madness. After 2 consecutive days of heavy rains on Thursday and Friday, the water level of the Murray River soared and the river water became muddy. Billowing rivers engulfed with mud and sand across the southern part of the Australian mainland, and finally merged into the vast Indian Ocean. The Murray River is the largest river in Australia, which traverses almost the entire southern continent. At the same time, it nourishes countless beasts and is the source of drinking water for countless beasts. At this moment, a magnetic levitation airship flew across the sky, galloping towards the junction of Millbora and the Murray River. Driving an airship like this in the Australian continent where the top beasts ravage it is a very dangerous thing. If it is attacked by a top-flying beast that is hard to see, the boat will definitely be destroyed. However, at this moment, all the students can no longer take care of these, and there are only 2 million points left in everyone's eyes. 2 million points. What a huge number. The first Joji for 2 consecutive weeks did not have such high results, which means that as long as the 2 million can be captured in the bag, the first is just around the corner. Crazy. All the students have red eyes and rushed to Millbora like crazy. So, when Ling Ju drove the airship to Millbora, what he saw was this picture. Dozens of maglev airships stopped over and around the Murray River. A student is either standing on top of the airship, standing on the ground, or hiding in the surrounding woods. Then, staring closely at Molay River, his eyes are full of inevitable colors. Yes, I must win. These 2 million points. They are about to make an appointment. There must be a fierce battle today. Ling Ju stood on top of the airship, his face gradually becoming serious. Then, he looked at the Murray River again. The water was very turbid, and on the surface, it seemed nothing strange. But if you feel it carefully, you will find that the center of the Murray River emits regular waves of genetic powers. And, as time goes by, the fluctuation of power becomes more and more obvious, as if something is about to wake up. Ling Ju, are you here too? A familiar voice rang in his ear, and my roommate Shi Gang also came. Shi Gang, are you here too? Just arrived. Shi Gang smiled and nodded, then pointed to a sturdy black man who was 2 meters tall and full of flesh, and introduced, this is my new teammate DeLong. DeLong, he is my roommate Ling Ju. Hello there. DeLong took the initiative to say hello in Mandarin. Although not very standard, he could understand it. Hello there. By the way, Ling Ju, what exactly is the rainbow snake mentioned by the battalion commander? Shi Gang stared at the center of the river. In any case, this thing has nothing to do with Tianxi Dabao, right? Who knows? Ling Ju shook his head slightly. However, there will be an answer soon. As soon as the voice fell, the rushing Murray River suddenly rolled violently. Immediately afterwards, colorful rays of light burst out of the river, forming a colorful rainbow over the Molay River, which was gorgeous and magnificent. Out. Ling Ju stared at the center of the Murray River. Shi Gang and Darren, and even the other students around him approached and stared at the Murray River. Attention everyone. That thing is coming out. Remember, once you come out, it immediately. No matter who snatches it, leave here immediately. The rainbow snake is mine. Coming out. Coming out soon. Quote. Under everyone's scorching gaze, a colorful head emerged from the water. It was an illusory snake head. Why is it illusory? Because it has no entity. Snake head is composed of light beams of 7 colors: bright silver, blood red, sky blue, lavender, turquoise, black, and blazing white. It is a snake that is completely condensed by light. Followed by the body, tail, and finally a pair of wings. When the whole snake fully appeared, everyone was stunned. A rainbow snake that is completely condensed by 7 kinds of colored lights is suspended in the air, with a waist as thick as a bucket and a body length of more than 50 meters. The most exaggerated thing about is that its back also grows a pair of giant wings composed entirely of colorful light beams, with a wingspan of at least 50 meters. This is the rainbow snake. Ling Ju was also stunned. What kind of life is this? A fierce beast. If it is a fierce beast, why is it not made of flesh and blood? Or, this scene is just a strange natural scene. This is a special substance. A whisper of surprise suddenly sounded in his ear, and saw a thin white boy with a flushed face, falling into an extremely madness. Special metal, special wood, special liquid, special flame, special soil, special lightning, special light. This is a treasure made up of 7 special substances. This is released. If you bring it back. Heart, shut up. The white boy was talking, but was interrupted by a black girl. The white boy then woke up, and suddenly realized that he was a little bit guilty, his face suddenly embarrassed. 7 kinds of special materials composed of heaven and earth treasures. Ling Ju was shocked. Special substance. Of course he has heard it. The big family of heaven, material and earth treasures has many members, but one of them is particularly eye-catching, and that is, special substances. What is a special substance? Something very different from ordinary substances is special substances. You read www. Yuakanshu.com special flames, special soil, special lightning, special plants, etc. For example, special flames, I Shangchung's immortal flame, and Shi Gang's black flames are all special flames. Such as special soil, Ling Ju currently knows only one special soil, and that is the only top soil cold weapon, Sand of Annihilation. A2 is not qualified at all. Special substances possess terrifying power and magical effects far beyond conventional substances. Therefore, anyone who controls supernatural powers will try to get special substances. For a fire-controlling ability person like Luo Jia, if she has a special fire, then her combat effectiveness will change drastically. Therefore, special substances are very precious, especially the amazing special substances are invaluable. Many special substances may not be available for money. However, at this moment, there are 7 special substances in suspension. Mine. A brown-skinned Indian teenager screamed and turned into a rainbow snake that burst into the air. Go away. However, without waiting for him to approach, a golden stream of light suddenly sprang from the slanting ground and kicked the Indian boy. The Indian boy screamed and flew out directly, then fell into the river, splashing a string of waves and was washed away by the rushing Murray River. Everyone's hearts were stunned, and they looked at the golden streamer, 5 meters tall, with golden wings on their backs, and blonde hair, just like a legendary angel. The whole body exudes golden light, exuding a sacred and inviolable breath, which seems to be more dazzling than the sun in the sky. Christopher Adam. Chapter 97, finally met, 2nd and 3rd. Christopher Adam. Seeing the golden figure standing proudly in the sky, all the students' pupils shrank, and a heart sank instantly. The visitor is not someone else. It is Christopher Adam, the angelic incarnation with terrifying power who ranked 2nd in the rankings twice in a row. Fuck. It turned out to be this bastard, this is a problem. Christopher is terrifying. Since he has appeared, it is much more difficult for us to ***** the rainbow snake. Damn, we should have done it just now. Don't be discouraged, everyone, so many of us, are you afraid that he will be Christopher? We will shoot together later. Christopher Adams' appearance shocked many students. Especially those students from the base city of Washington, who know Christopher Adam well, understand his horror better, and feel very heavy. Of course, there are also those who disagree. They admit that Christopher Adam is really strong, but 2 fists are hard to beat 4 hands. So many of them are afraid that they can't deal with a Christopher. Other people's thoughts Christopher Adam didn't know, and he didn't need to know, he was like an angel, venting his mighty power. Indifferent golden eyes swept across the audience, eyes full of disdain and contempt. Then, he vibrated his wings and flew towards the rainbow snake floating in midair, ignoring everyone present. Damn it. Do it. Such a provocative scene infuriated many people, and a dozen figures rose into the air and launched an attack in a low voice of anger. Lei Du Lei Che. Turtle Qigong. Extinguish the fire. Curve shot. Pointy touch fist. Quote. Boom. A dozen or so of lightning, or air cannon, or flame, or iron ball, or plasma cannon's terrorist attack cut through the void, and pressed against Christopher Adam. It is conceivable that even if Christopher Adam is physically tyrannical, he will never escape serious injury after being hit by so many attacks. But the question is, can you hit it? The answer is obviously no. Little tricks. Watching the dozen or so attacks from the lacing, Christopher Adam showed disdain, his wings shook his back and disappeared instantly. Disappear suddenly. Seems to have never appeared before. Christopher's counterattack has begun. These stupid guys dare to provoke Christopher and look for death. They are dead. Quote. Seeing the disappearing Christopher Adam, the students who knew Christopher Adam trembled in their hearts and knew what was going to happen next. As expected, I saw a golden streamer suddenly appear, and then began to wander around the dozens of students. Boom, boom. In less than 3 seconds, the golden streamer returned to the original place, and the dozen or so students had all flown out. Either the chest collapsed, or blood was vomiting at the mouth, or the ribs were broken, or the jaw was shattered, or, how could it be a tragic word? Okay, so awesome. A dozen students were seriously injured in an instant. Is this Christopher Adam? Christopher is still merciful, otherwise, these guys will definitely be killed on the spot. The supersonic power is so terrible, you don't even have a chance to react. How can you play this special? 10 times the speed of sound with the angelic ability is simply a bug. No matter how powerful your abilities are and how terrifying destructive power you have. No matter how terrifying your body is, how many times the terrifying power can be exerted, at 10 times the speed of sound, it is all a joke. The corners of the other students' mouths twitched, and a deep chill rose. Christopher Adam can reach 10 times the speed of sound, 3,400 meters per second. Who can attack him? Who can resist Christopher Adam like this? The students who watched the battle shivered, and for the first time clearly felt the terrifying deterrence from the rankings. This is the second-ranked Christopher Adam. Too frightening. No accident, this rainbow snake will be acquired by Christopher Adam. This is something that can't be helped. The moment Christopher Adam appears, the ending is doomed. Yes, unless the number 1 Joji appears, no one can stop him, not even the 3rd Ling Ju and the 4th Hirano Hagi. It's a pity that we can only watch such a treasure, but we can't do anything about it. This feeling is really annoying. Accept your fate. Now rush forward, those guys are our end. Seeing more than a dozen students who fell on the ground and groaned in pain, the unwilling spectators shivered together, and the unwilling thoughts vanished in an instant. www.mtlnovel.com, yes. What is unwilling to do? Compared with these guys, at least I am not injured, am I? What is that guy doing? Just when these spectators were fortunate that they were not impulsive, somebody yelled, and the others looked over. A young man standing on the magnetic levitation airship flew slowly over and flew in front of Christopher Adam. What is he doing? Would you want to the rainbow snake with Christopher? Oh. Another desperate idiot, who is still lying on the ground, don't you know how to learn? Seeing this scene, the spectators sneered and jumped out without strength. It was an act of seeking death, stupidity, and asking for trouble. At this moment, it was Ling Ju who came to Christopher Adam. Ling Ju stood on the top of the maglev airship, looking up at Christopher Adam, who overpowered the audience and ranked second on the 2-time list. It's you. Christopher Adam did not directly attack, but frowned slightly. You want to my rainbow snake. He had seen Ling Ju in the 12th chamber underground, and knew that Ling Ju was ranked 3rd and was a relatively difficult opponent. Your rainbow snake. Ling Ju flicked his fingers and smiled faintly. The rainbow snake was just born. You saw it with your own eyes. When did it become your thing? I said it was mine, it was mine. Christopher Adam looked indifferently. What Christopher is fond of, I have never failed to get it. If you are acquainted, get out of here. It's useless to say more, let's fight. Chapter 98. Frontal collision, fried water torpedo. This guy is crazy. Seeing Ling Ju stand up, Shi Gang's face changed drastically. That's Christopher Adam, what does he want to do? Is he going to die? Crazy. Completely crazy. Shi Gang, your roommate is too reckless. Shi Gang's partner Darren shook his head and said, Christopher is known as the first young man in the Washington-based city, Ling Ju is not his opponent. I also know that he is not Christopher Adams' opponent, but what can I do? Shi Gang smiled bitterly. He has rushed up. Is it possible to call him back? Up to now, I can only hope that Christopher will show mercy. DeLong shook his head. He is from the base city of Washington and fought with Christopher Adam. He knows the power of Christopher Adam, and that power makes him feel desperate so far. Overwhelmed. Upon hearing Ling Ju's words, Christopher Adam gave a cold snort, his wings flicked behind him, and shot at Ling Ju. His speed was too fast, and the distance of tens of meters was reached in an instant, so that he himself had already killed Ling Ju, but the afterimage remained in place. Dead. That guy is dead. The students who watched the battle shook their heads and sighed. No one thought that Ling Ju could defeat Christopher Adam. The two were not in the same class. However, the next scene shocked everyone's jaws. Just when Christopher Adam was less than 1 meter away from Ling Ju slowly raised his right hand and greeted him. Crack. The fists of both sides bombarded each other heavily, as if two galloping high-speed rails collided. Accompanied by thunderous explosions, a violent shock wave centered on the two and burst out. Boom. Is like a typhoon passing by, the surrounding trees, weeds, and even the water of the Murray River at the foot are blown to and fro, causing waves of waves. Looking at the two people who collided, they flew upside down at the same time, and they flew more than 10 meters away before they stopped. Finally. Equally equal. The spectators were stunned, looking at the two figures floating in the air with an incredible expression, their eyes were full of incredible. Ling Ju is so amazing. Shi Gang couldn't help but breathe a cold breath. A hard punch with Christopher Adam, it's not inferior. Although he knew that Ling Ju possessed a mysterious power-type ability, he did not think Ling Ju was an opponent of Christopher Adam. Supersonic power. 10 times the speed of sound. What concept? 3.4 kilometers per second. This speed is terrible. At this terrifying speed, Christopher Adam punches casually, carrying unparalleled destructive power. After all, kinetic energy equals MVV, with a certain quality. The faster the speed, the greater the kinetic energy, and the more terrifying the destructive power. But it was such a terrifying Christopher Adam. Ling Ju actually caught his attack. How strong is Ling Ju? Shi Gang, the power of your roommate is above me. DeLong stared at Ling Ju, and slowly said this sentence. Is it? Shi Gang was shocked. Darren is the best meat shield with super power plus super defense. His power is not as good as Ling Ju. I'm not as good as him. DeLong buzzed. It's a bit too burdensome. Christopher Adam looked at Ling Ju. But, do you think you can compete with me like this? It's naive. To tell you the truth, because the distance was too short just now, my speed just didn't even reach the speed of sound. I know. Ling Ju said lightly. Although you have the supersonic ability, it is impossible to accelerate to 10 times the speed of sound in an instant. You need enough time and enough distance to accelerate to 10 times the speed of sound, am I right? Christopher Adam was silent and did not deny that Ling Ju said that it would take 2 to 3 minutes for the high-speed rail to accelerate from a standstill to a speed of 200 kilometers per hour. By the same token, it will take some time for him to accelerate to 10 times the speed of sound. Although he has supersonic power, it is lighter, smaller and faster than high-speed rail, and it takes less time to accelerate to 10 times the speed of sound, but it still takes time. 10 times the speed of sound out of thin air. That is impossible. So, the supersonic ability looks at the bug, but it's actually quite tasteless. As long as you meet someone who restrains you, this ability fart is not. Ling Ju said lightly. You have too much nonsense. Christopher Adam flicked his wings behind his back, stuck straight into the sky, and flew to a height of several hundred meters before stopping. Then reversed direction, and under the acceleration of gravity, it turned into a meteorite and fell from the sky. A futile struggle. Ling Ju shook his head slightly, neither evasive nor attacked, so he stood there, letting Christopher Adam shoot at him. Ling Ju, run away. Shi Gang immediately reminded him loudly that Christopher Adam swooped down like this. Under the acceleration of gravity, his speed would only get faster and faster. If he was attacked, the consequences would be unimaginable. Rest assured. Ling Ju seemed to completely ignore Christopher Adam who fell from the sky. www.mtlnovel.com, but Shenshin showed a relaxed smile to Shi Gang. Damn. Crazy. This scene made Shi Gang, DeLong and many other spectators scalp numb. Nima, at this time, there are still idle nonsense, really want to die. Shoo. Just as the spectators' hearts were throbbing, there was a stern breaking sound in the sky, and everyone looked up. I saw a golden streamer swooping down with a wave of air, which was not actually a wave of air, but a sonic cloud. Sonic burst cloud. When an object breaks through the speed of sound, the air pressure increases in the back and the surrounding air is compressed, causing the water vapor to condense to form tiny droplets, which look like a circle of clouds. This is the sonic boom. The appearance of sonic burst cloud is completely enough to prove that Christopher Adams' speed has exceeded the speed of sound and is still rising sharply. When he speeds up to Ling Ju, to what extent? Too frightening. Christopher Adam is now 10 times more terrible than before. How will he stop this time? The spectators' eyes burned, staring at Ling Ju, and the golden streamer galloping down from the sky, all looking forward to the next scene. But what everyone didn't expect was that Christopher Adam was about to attack Ling Ju. Ling Ju disappeared. Correct. Disappeared strangely. Where are people? Everyone was stunned. Where are people? Christopher Adam was also stunned, and then, unable to react, he plunged into the swift Murray River. Puff. Chapter 99. Defeat head-on, help identify. Puff. Like a torpedo explosion, with a loud bang, huge waves rose into the sky, and the rushing Murray River seemed to stop flowing at this moment. After a while, it returned to its original state and continued to flow. Wow! Christopher Adam broke out of the water and flew into the air again, but at this moment he was very embarrassed. A handsome blonde hair was covered with mud and sand, and the golden wings exuding a holy breath turned into mud wings, soaked all over. How embarrassed and embarrassed. Asshole. Christopher Adam breathed fire in his eyes, staring at Ling Ju, like an angry lion, trying to choose people and devour it, destroying the world. Christopher Adam is very angry, he has been so embarrassed since his awakening ability. No. There has never been. But today, he lost his face. Ling Ju, get out of me. Christopher Adam roared angrily. There is a kind of honesty to fight with me, what is the ability to hide the head and show the tail? Let's do it. I will satisfy you. Ling Ju appeared in midair. Dead. Seeing Ling Ju, Christopher Adama roared, then vibrated his wings behind his back and rushed directly. His whole body burst out with a dazzling golden light, and the wings behind him are like sharp blades, cutting the air, seeming to be able to cut everything. The distance of several hundred meters was approaching in an instant. Christopher Adam raised his fist and smashed it at Ling Ju arrogantly. Iron Fist is his only means, is also the most powerful method. Under the blessing of supersonic speed, a pair of iron fists can tear the sixth order beast, and he will use this pair of iron fists to defeat Ling Ju. Good job. Ling Ju withdrew his right foot and slowly raised his right fist. Then, his body seemed to have been transformed into a dazzling silver. In an instant, Ling Ju became a 2-meter-tall robot. What is this ability? Alloying. This is Ling Ju's power-type ability. The spectators widened their eyes, and Shi Gang widened their eyes. Although he knew that Ling Ju possessed this ability, it was the first time he saw the alloying of tungsten steel. No matter what power you have, you are not my opponent. Christopher Adam snarled and struck him with a punch. Crack. The golden fist and the silver iron fist collided in an instant, and accompanied by a thunderous explosion, everyone felt their ears roar, and they couldn't help covering their ears. The surging air wave raged everywhere, and the aggressive Christopher Adam flew out directly, backing back several tens of meters in the sky before barely stabilizing his figure. Ling Ju, on the other hand, didn't move at all. In one move, he made a decision. You turned out to be, actually. Christopher Adams' face changed drastically, feeling the heart-piercing pain from his right arm, and then looking at Ling Ju, who was motionless, his eyes were full of disbelief. It's not that I'm bragging, just talking about power, you don't deserve to lift my shoes. Ling Ju stepped on the void and walked towards Christopher Adams step by step. The silver light all over his body flickered, walking in the leisurely courtyard, like a silver-armored war **** from the ancient heaven. Even if you are proud of the speed, it is just a joke in front of me. Ling Ju took one step and appeared ghostly in front of Christopher Adam, raising his hand as a straight punch. 8-run Lei Jin. Puff. Christopher Adams' chest sank in an instant, he spouted a mouthful of blood, and flew out uncontrollably. Then he fell straight into the turbulent Murray River, and was washed away by the turbulent water, not knowing whether it was alive or dead. The whole audience is silent. All the students stared blankly at the sky, standing proudly in the sky, like Ling Ju, who was an ancient giant. They only felt dry and gulped. Lost. Lost. Christopher actually lost. The power is stronger than Christopher. Is he still a human? 2 moves. Only 2 moves were used to kill Christopher in seconds. Monster. The spectators talked a lot, and the disdain and ridicule disappeared, replaced by shock and incredible. The same is true of the history outline. I also know he is strong. Shi Gang smiled wryly, but I didn't expect that he was so strong. You Chinese people are all monsters. DeLong Ern said with an earn. It's okay that others are monsters, I'm so special, I'm so far behind them. Shi Gang smiled bitterly. Ling Ju didn't know what others thought, and he didn't need to know. He looked around the audience, and the meaning in his eyes was obvious. Who else? All the students lowered their heads with interest after they met his gaze. Ling Ju defeated Christopher Adam with 2 moves. They think they are not opponents, so let's just admit it. Ling Ju nodded in satisfaction, and then flew towards the rainbow snake suspended in midair. Although the rainbow snake is composed of 7 special substances, it is actually a dead thing without self-consciousness. Ling Ju waved his big hand and put it in the space bag, and then left directly. Huh. Finally gone. Too frightening. I just met his gaze, I felt a little breathless. It's a pity. That's a set of special substances, so it was snatched away by him, alas, a big loss. Ling Ju, I remember you. Shoo shoo shoo. Soon after Ling Ju left, a group of figures came one after another. It was the students who had arrived late. However, when they learned that the rainbow snake had already been taken away by Ling Ju, www.mtlnovel.com, they thumped their chests and their feet in anger. 2 million points. Is gone. Hate. Where did he go? Should I advise you or not to look for him? Why? You can't beat him. Go. Ling Ju didn't know what happened later, so he went straight back to the training camp. Although there is still time, there is no need to hunt them. On Thursday, he hunted 98 Tier 6 beasts. On Friday, he hunted 102 Tier 6 beasts. In 2 days, they hunted 200 Tier 6 fierce beasts, worth 2 million points, including the 2 million points for successfully catching the rainbow snake. A total of 4 million points. Ling Ju believes that no one can surpass himself, and that is the case, why waste time on hunting the beasts? I can't sell it for money anyway. Came to the logistics department, Ling Ju handed in the harvest, and when he was about to leave, he was told that the battalion commander was looking for him. Battalion commander. Ling Ju came to the battalion commander's office. Student Ling Ju, you got a rainbow snake. The battalion commander motioned to Ling Ju to sit down, and then asked with a smile. Yes, battalion commander. Very good. Battalion commander nodded slightly and smiled. First of all, congratulations on getting the rainbow snake. Thank you. Ling Ju smiled shyly. He can strike out with a heavy punch in front of the students, but in front of a battalion commander, his posture is better. Student Ling Ju, can I help you identify the rainbow snake if it's convenient? The battalion commander said with interest. Of course can. Ling Ju nodded, then waved his hand to take out the rainbow snake. Chapter 100. 7 Top, Ultimate Treasures. As soon as the rainbow snake appeared, it emitted a dazzling colorful light, and the whole room was dazzling with the brilliance of the reflection, beautifully. The battalion commander waved his hand, and the rainbow snake cleverly flew towards him. Immediately afterwards, the battalion commander pulled a few times, and the rainbow snake instantly disintegrated, decomposed into 7 colored ribbons, and finally condensed into 7 lumps of matter. This is the true face of the 7 special substances. The battalion commander smiled. Ling Ju's eyes widened, and there were 7 substances suspended in front of them, namely, a piece of silver metal, a piece of scarlet wood, a blue water ball, a cluster of purple flames, a yellow clod, a black lightning, a white ball of light. It's amazing. Ling Ju couldn't help but marvel. When they were in the form of rainbow snakes before, they were just 7 colors of light, which is far different from what they are now. Special substances, they are the essence of nature. The battalion commander smiled slightly. We look at it the same way. Silver metal first. The battalion commander grabbed the silver metal in his hand and squeezed it lightly. The commander nodded slightly. The hardness is very high, not much better than the vibrantman alloy, which is the hardest in the world today, and its flexibility is also good. Level. Top heaven and earth treasure. The top treasures of heaven and material. Ling Ju was shocked. How valuable is the top treasure? If sold to the company, at least 100 billion plus 1,000 contribution points can be sold. 100 billion. 1,000 contribution points. Too exaggerated. Then this piece of wood. The battalion commander picked up the blood-colored wood and kneaded it lightly. A look of surprise appeared on his face. Vitality is very abundant, and didn't know what the battalion commander did. The scarlet wood, which was originally only the size of an apple, grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. It can also attract the rapid growth of genetic abilities. This is very impressive. It is simply an excellent wooden cold weapon. Battalion commander exclaimed. Finally, the hardness of this wood is very high, not much worse than Junman alloy, and it is also very heavy. Level. Top heaven and earth treasure. Another top-notch treasure. Ling Ju was so excited. This liquid is followed. Battalion commander let go of the scarlet wood and picked up the blue liquid to identify. It is dense, very heavy, and strongly corrosive. This corrosive ability is even more terrifying than aqua regia, and it is enough to melt most of the world's substances, very dangerous. Level. Top quality treasure. The temperature of this flame is very high, and the color has reached purple and is close to transparent. This is a manifestation of extremely high temperature, at least above 7,000. In general, the temperature of the flame determines the color of the flame. The red-orange flame is about 3,000 degrees Celsius, the yellow-white flame is about 4,000 degrees Celsius, the cyan-blue flame is about 5,000 approximately 6,000 degrees Celsius, and the purple flame is generally above 7,000. The flame above 7,000 degrees Celsius is already a top treasure of heaven and earth. Look at this soil again. After being identified one by one, Ling Ju was a little numb with excitement. The top treasures of heaven and earth, the 7 items turned out to be top treasures of heaven and earth. 700 billion plus 7,000 contribution points. Is incredible. Student Ling Ju, even I have to envy your luck. These 7 special substances are all top treasures of heaven and earth. Battalion commander exclaimed. Moreover, they all have one characteristic in common: growth. In other words, they can grow as long as they enter genetic powers. Growth is a very rare feature for weapons, which means that it can grow from small to large, weak to strong, which will bring great convenience to its owner. Okay. The things have been appraised, you put them away for the time being. As for how to deal with it, that's your problem. Whether you keep your own collection or sell to the company, whatever you want. Thank you, battalion commander. Ling Ju thanked him sincerely. But I have to remind you. The battalion commander suddenly became serious. Obviously, this is a set of natural treasures, and their value is completely comparable to an ultimate natural treasure. Ultimate heaven, material and earth treasure, even those with level 7 or 8 abilities will be moved. So, try not to be exposed, otherwise it will cause a lot of trouble. Do you understand? The battalion commander shouted solemnly. Understood, battalion commander. Ling Ju nodded quickly. You can go out. Yes, battalion commander. Coming out of the battalion commander's office, the sky was already dark, and the sky was shining with stars. Ling Ju couldn't help but let out a long sigh of relief. The sky in this world is really good, the stars are so beautiful. Wow, okay. I'm making a lot of money. The ultimate treasure of heaven, material and earth, that is a treasure worth more than 10,000 contribution points. I'm so lucky. Ling Ju can't wait for Yang Tian to laugh. Each of these 7 special substances are top-notch treasures. If they are sold separately, each piece will have at least 700 billion plus 7,000 contribution points. But if put together, it is the ultimate treasure of heaven, material and earth, with a value of at least 1 trillion plus over 10,000 contribution points. Ling Ju has earned too much. Haha, I won't practice tonight, go to sleep. Time flickered, and in a blink of an eye, it was time to change the rankings every week. All the students gathered in the central square again. Ling Ju, you didn't run away first this time. Shi Gang looked envied and said. The reward for completing temporary tasks alone, www.mtlnovel.com, has 2 million points credited, and you are the first place this week. I'm miserable. Although I found a teammate, the harvest has improved from last week, but it's still not enough. Just work hard. Ling Ju patted Shi Gang on the shoulder. At this moment, many students are watching the leaderboard while watching Ling Ju. Ling Ju's previous reputation was not very strong. Even if he ranked 9th for the first time and 3rd for the second time, not many people paid attention to him. After all, people's eyes are on the first and the second. Who cares about the third? However, in the Battle of Murray River, Ling Ju strongly defeated Christopher Adam and won the Rainbow Snake to complete the temporary mission. He became completely famous. He is Ling Ju. A very ordinary guy, why can I beat Christopher? He got the Rainbow Snake, it's really out of luck. Huh. Even if he wins the first place this time, it is still the light of the Rainbow Snake. Next time he will definitely be beaten back to his original shape and be surpassed by Joji and Christopher. Updated. The list is updated. Someone yelled, and all the students looked at the leaderboard. Ling Ju really won the first place. Awesome, the results are too high. It's just a guy who's been out of shit, what's to toast about? No. Look carefully, his results are too ridiculous. Isn't it more than 2 million, what's so interesting? What? 4 million. What a joke. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories, and never miss out on a great listen.